Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Please hit that like button. You guys know the drill. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. If you're new, join the family. All right, don't be a stranger. Go ahead and subscribe. Got a couple of announcements before we bring on our special guest, the Mexican Condor. We are rolling to Cape Town, March 25th to April 2nd, March 25th to April 2nd. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. We are also going to Senegal, and that's May 9th to the 18th. May 9th to the 18th. We are going to Senegal. Then we're rolling to Nigeria in August. That's August 2nd to 11th. August 2nd to 11th. We are rolling to Nigeria. Then after that, we are going to Zanzibar in September 20th to the 29th. And then we're going to end things off in Ghana and Ivory Coast, and that's in November. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on our special guest, the Mexican Condor. Mexican Condor, it's been a minute.
Sure has, Zionist. Can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for having me on your show once again. It's always a pleasure. And I just want to report in from out here in the middle of America in Oklahoma City. I've been here just a little bit over a year. Lifelong California resident, and it's the middle of the country has really surprised me about in just so many different ways that people just don't expect. So I've come to make acquaintances with a lot of people from the African community. That is to say, African immigrants from West Africa, mostly Ghana, and I'm going to put them right at the very top of my list of most favorite people. They are so humble, down to earth, and so hardworking. They're just always hustling, and I'm open to opening the immigration doors to more African immigrants because they're very energetic and they go after it, and I'd like to see more of that. How does that? With that observation in mind, how does it you feel about African immigrants here in the U.S.?
Oh, I have no problem with African immigrants. Yeah, I'm locked in with them, especially in regards to what I do. Mexican Condor, why'd you leave California, the paradise of California, to go to Oklahoma?
You know why I left? Well, I left for California for the same reason a lot of people leave, because it's a death by a thousand cuts. I mean, every time you turn one way or the other, there you're getting taxed in ways that they're more clever and more devious. Um, for example, in Palm Springs, where I used to live, where its temperatures are extreme, when I'm talking 120-degree plus is possible, um, they raised our rates to the highest electricity rates in the entire United States to
Mm.
encourage people to save. So basically, they're putting people's lives in danger for you know, this green agenda. That's just one example out of many, many, many different examples. Here in Oklahoma, my gas was under $2 for a spell, and it's only slightly over $2 now. So compared to what I used to cost me just to get to work and back every day in California, it just doesn't make any California just doesn't make any sense for anybody.
Mhm. Now, Mexico. So today's topic: should Black and Hispanics should they be working for ICE? People been
Well,
saying that.
it's
Yeah.
a good, solid government job. And just because you're Hispanic doesn't mean that you necessarily uh, have anything in common with someone who just crossed the border yesterday. You might have been here for 5 generations, and at that point you're fully acculturated, fully assimilated, and it's and you don't really have anything um, tying to you to recent immigrant arrivals. So I don't see any reason why you should not take a solid government job if it's available. I mean, and they do a lot more than people realize. The way that the media is characterizing them, it's they're just out here to you know uh, and trap people and toss them out of the country. A lot of the people that they catch are awful, awful people. The worst of the worst in society. But of course, the media doesn't tell you about that. They don't tell you, yeah, well, this happened under Obama, but back then it wasn't, you know, no one made a big deal about it. Only because of the current administration, all of a sudden it becomes a focal point. But there was no concern, so many years ago when it was the Obama administration putting the kibosh on immigration.
Well, the argument is that I guess Obama allegedly went through the proper protocols to deport people. That's why they'll make a big deal about it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, who decides what those protocols are? The government. So how's that any different? I mean, who's arbitrating what's a proper protocol and what isn't? I mean, the media has decided to make itself judge, jury, and executioner. But when you really uh, you know, uh, take a look at it, I what they're doing is not above the law. It's not an easy job. It's not pretty. It's not doesn't make anybody feel good to see a desperate person, removed. And I understand why people, have strong feelings about it. I get it, but at the same time, the United States does have a right to defend its borders. Just like Mexico has a right to defend its borders, and any country in Central America has a right to defend its borders, and no one would deny that those nations where other sovereignties have that same right. But it's only a big deal when the United States tries to enforce its immigration policy. It's those people who are critics of the administration that say, try to get a job permit in England. It doesn't matter how well educated and white or whatever you are here in the United States. They ain't letting you in. And the same would apply to like the socialist paradises that keep um, pointing the finger at, like Denmark and such. You're not getting in, period. And because that's how they're able to maintain their social nets, by keeping very strict controls on who can qualify for those benefits. And those benefits are reserved exclusively for full-fledged citizens of those, of Denmark and wherever else. And they don't negligently or generously extend those benefits to just anybody who wanders across the border. So, if we should at least be consistent in acknowledging that, if you think you want this socialist paradise, well, there's some things you have to do to get there. So, and first and foremost, figure out how to limit who gets to benefit from it and who doesn't.
Now, as far as the way Trump is handling immigration, well, border policy and immigration, um, coming from a Hispanic perspective, what are your thoughts on that? On how he's handling it?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of interruption. Can you come again?
I'll say what are your thoughts on how Trump is handling deportations?
I think Trump would behoove himself to take rhetorically to take a softer stance. ICE can do exactly what it's doing now, and he can just not and present it in a more friendly way, or like Obama. Did Obama um, slam his fists about illegal immigration? No, he talked about it softly and went about doing what he was doing. So I think the same thing. That's what Donald Trump should do: is not make it a debate, a public debate. Just let ICE do what it's do, and not say anything inflammatory. But that's the thing with Trump is he's a loose cannon. So you just know there's no way around it.
Okay, so just Trump needs to be a little bit more have more decorum when it comes to what he's doing. Hello. I think we lost you. Messi Condor, you there? All right, guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you're gonna call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Again, link is in the chat room. If you're gonna call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. But link is in the chat room. I think we lost Messi Condor. We'll wait for him to come back. Hey, go ahead, Alan.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Alan, you're up. You're what, Maryland, Virginia?
I'm in Maryland. I'm in Baltimore.
Man, I know you guys are up there freezing. Is the weather still pretty?
Yeah, it's been freezing. They don't really take care of the snow very well here. Not as well as they do in New York. So,
well, yeah,
or Canada.
Baltimore. So. What do they take care of in Baltimore?
Yeah. Well, good point. Good point. I think your last guest hit it on the head, though. I think as you look at this more and look deeper into the issue, Obama Trump still hasn't matched the pace of Obama in terms of deportations. He worked very closely with Tom Homan. He honored Tom Homan. Tom Homan, if you listen to some of his interviews, speaks very highly of Obama and says that Obama got it, and he enjoyed working for Obama. So I think people are missing that in terms of just being accurate and telling the truth as to what really happened. Trump's issue is that he's trying to use this like almost like blitzkrieg type movement where they're doing a lot of this stuff for show, and then the activists start going around and putting on a show as well, and that's what's led to a lot of the conflict. But in terms of the things that Trump is doing, some of the things that Trump is saying about immigration, it's really, really no different than Obama. And I wish people would be more honest about
that. Pan Mulattoism, go ahead.
Yes, and thanks for having me up. Peace to the panelists, and I try to keep it brief. To answer the question, the topic, actually, yes, it's very imperative that Black Americans and mulatto Americans apply to work for ICE. They have great benefits. I even heard they have some bonuses, so you could make money as you clean up your country, which is a beautiful thing. I also recommend that, and I'll say this in closing. Not only should Black Americans and mulatto Americans literally Google immigrant owned businesses and call ICE on all of them, it's also important that Black Americans and mulatto Americans buy real estate in the nations that immigrants come to the U.S. from. They are in our house, so it's important and it's imperative that we be in their house. Just as there are Chinatowns and little Somalias and Africa towns and Korea towns throughout the U.S., we need to build little Black Americas and little mulatto Americas throughout Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, Europe, etc. I relinquish the floor, really.
It'd be very difficult for you to do that because the immigration laws in other countries will prevent you from actually purchasing and doing the things that they're allowed to do here. So the twist of
Hold on,
the
Alan.
irony is that like I said, the countries that many people are coming from, including the country where my parents are from. If you're not a citizen, it's going to be very difficult for you to have to go ahead and make a life
Hold on,
in
you
that
notice that,
country.
brother? What country is your family from?
Barbados.
You hear what you just told us? Now, your family came from Barbados to the U.S. They are
Hmm.
Caribbean communities in the U.S. When I
Hmm.
say that Black Americans need to buy real estate in the countries that immigrants come to the U.S. from, your first instinct is to attempt to discourage us. Even if we cannot buy real estate in Barbados, and someone will have to check to see if that's actually true.
I
But
didn't say
even
you
if we
couldn't buy real estate. I said life would be very difficult because I wasn't. It wasn't discouraging anybody. What I was saying that
well,
I what I
well,
was
Alan,
saying
let me
was
ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I was pointing out
They,
an irony. That's what I was doing.
but hear me out, Joe. There
Mhm.
are Bajans, because that's what you call yourselves, people from
Correct.
Barbados. There are Bajans that have moved to the U.S. and lived in ghettos, even right now. That's difficult, but it still has not stopped you from coming to the U.S. So just as, and I'm gonna always remember my original point, just as immigrants come to the U.S. and buy real estate and start businesses and create communities for themselves in the U.S., Black Americans, U.S. Black Americans, U.S. mulatto Americans must do the same things in the countries that immigrants come to the U.S. from. The key word is geopolitics, and we will not be deterred from our mission. That's
Okay.
why that's why I salute Dinus Demir for going to Africa and getting citizenship in Africa, because there are Africans that have citizenship in the U.S.
Right.
Really.
So get citizenship. I have no problem with that. The only thing I was pointing out was there are people. The irony I was pointing out was there are people who from other places who come here who have never been citizens, like a Nicki Minaj or something like that, and they go ahead and stay here and flourish. It would be very difficult to go to other countries and do that. And ironically,
Well,
that's the
with
only
all due
point I was trying to
respect,
make.
when we take our U.S. dollar to your countries,
Hmm.
we automatically flourish,
Hmm.
respectfully. So,
Okay.
once again, brother, your family came to the U.S. from
Hmm.
Barbados. Americans will undoubtedly go to. Matter of fact, you even have a history of Black Americans that have already moved to Barbados.
Absolutely.
All right, that will
Absolutely.
continue. That's my only point.
All right, and I get that, what I mean, and I'm not trying to, I don't know what the resistance is. I was only pointing out and the irony because oftentimes when you hear these conversations, more conservative people would point out exactly what I'm pointing out, that you couldn't do some of the things you could do in the United States in other countries. So that's the only thing I was pointing out is the irony is that you can't necessarily do some of the things you can do
Well, let me give
in
you an
other countries in
example.
this
Let me
country.
give you an example. There are things that Bajans can't do when coming to the U.S. that Americans can do when going to Barbados. I just gave an example of the currency of the U.S. in comparison to the what is that y'all use? The Eastern Caribbean dollar.
No, we don't use this in Korea. We
What
have
are
the
y'all?
Barbadian dollar.
Give me the name of your currency.
The Barbados dollar.
Exactly. Now, you know and I know that the US dollar is more valuable than the Barbadian dollar, correct?
It has the exchange rate is about 2-1, a little less now.
Exactly. You just said it.
But
Double.
it's 2-1.
That's my point. So when an American sets foot in Barbados, automatically we have double the power that a Bajan has when you set foot in the US. So with all due respect, we don't need you to tell us what we can't do in your country. We will do what we can. Really.
Yeah. Again, I think you're just trying to sound tough and not really listening to the point I'm trying to make.
Well, maybe a trigger, brother. I'm just having a dialogue with you.
I don't think anybody who's listening to this here.
So what did I say about being tough?
So what I say, with all due respect, it was kind of like, it's kind of like, and that's not the vibe I'm giving. The only thing only point I was pointing out, I'm not discouraging anybody to go anywhere, do anything.
Well, you don't have the power to discourage us.
I've been trying to get my American daughters to go ahead and get their citizenship as well. The only point I was saying is that I was just, again, pointing out the irony that some of the things that you can do in the United States, you know what I mean, which is some of the things that Trump is addressing, right? You cannot do in other countries. That's
and vice versa. Vice versa.
Yeah, hello, Dennis. Hello, Dennis. You're right, brother.
Yes. Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, big hi to you. Big hi to brother Alan HB. Listen, hey. I've come on this show because of this idiotic yellow man here. What the hell are you doing on the Black Man Show anyway?
Hey, okay,
hold on. If I say something about him being black, you're gonna start crying.
Hold on. This show is open to everybody.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I'll allow it, but I'm gonna put
if I make a black comment, don't start crying. Go ahead, brother.
Fool. Who are you to question what black man is doing, what black man ain't doing? You don't even associate yourself with black.
You got a European accent. Why did you flee Africa?
Nice to you. Because, man, I would have fling you over the show a long time ago, coming here and disrespecting that elder brother here. Fool. We can
the Chinese are taking over your country.
You're not part of the black community.
What are you saying to me?
You get a confused fool. You don't run nothing in America. You don't own nothing in America. Just running your
The Chinese run Africa, brother.
No one should have let you out.
The Chinese run Africa, brother.
That's not necessarily true.
Yeah, the Chinese run Africa. Let's have a dialogue.
That's not true.
The Chinese, the French, the Arabians, the Americans.
Now, if you would have a better point if you stuck with the French, but not the Chinese don't run.
I'm talking all of the foreign colonists that are in Africa right now.
You've never been outside of your block. What do you know about Africa, fool?
I'm in Puerto Rico right now. Check me.
On the damn show, you wouldn't know a damn.
I'm in Puerto Rico right now, brother. Make your point.
You're good. Stay there.
I was just in Maryland, brother. Make your point.
Yeah, yes, in Maryland. I guess in Puerto Rico.
When will you go back to Africa, brother?
Hey, listen, if you're confused about who you are, we ain't. We're black.
All right, but when will you go back to Africa, brother, to fix it?
I'll go back to Africa when I fucking want to go back to Africa.
Oh, so it's fuck Africa. It's European first, right? It's Europe first, right?
We love black.
Then why did you abandon a black country?
We ain't confused about what we are and what.
Why did you abandon a black country, brother?
I beg your pardon. You and my brother.
Why did you abandon your black country?
Don't brother me.
I'm asking, why did you abandon your black country, brother?
Who told you I abandoned my black country?
You're in Europe right now. You have a European accent.
You damn right I'm in Europe right now. I'm
okay, so why did you abandon your black country?
Where the hell I want to go?
Why did you abandon your black country, brother?
It's necessary for me to be in Europe, pussy.
It's necessary for you to be underneath the white man's nuts.
Because the white man came to Africa. How about that?
It's necessary for you to be underneath the white man's nuts.
Listen,
it's necessary for you to be underneath the white man's nuts.
At least I know I'm speaking to a white man or in a white man's country. Where the fuck you
had to flee Africa, huh?
No, I don't have to flee
Africa. It was necessary.
No, I don't have to flee
It was necessary to flee Africa.
No, it wasn't.
To live underneath the white man's nuts.
I chose to come here.
Yeah, I know you chose to flee. You chose to booty clap for the white man. You chose to booty clap for the white man.
Yeah, who you booty clapping for?
You chose to booty clap for my white cousins.
Well, your white cousin, motherfucker, you're not gonna see you.
You're lucky I got a phone call. I'll be back in a second.
Talk shit on Pan-African shows.
All right, guys. Let me pass the mic to Africa. Go ahead, Africa. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Africa, unmute yourself.
Yes, greetings to Dinus and the family. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Wicked. Okay. Yeah, African Americans and Latino joining ICE. In a normal condition, why not? And before Trump, obviously, I regretted a lot of things about Trump being, the president of America, the way he's behaving. And I'm agree a lot of the guys on the chat would agree that he's actually gone over the top. But on the normal circumstances, I agree for African Americans to be quite conservative about immigration because, we all know how immigration affects the minorities in America. And over the years, African Americans been kind of marginalized based on what I study in America by immigrants that's coming uh, from the Latin Americas and also coming from the African continent, and minimizing their struggle. Obviously, we know the African Americans who think, Black people owe them, everything based on what they've been through. I can understand that emotional effect also, and that, why they feel like that. And even though that might be right or wrong in there, but that's a debate for another day. Well, I think there's nothing wrong with them securing the country and protecting themselves from people that are coming in, trying to make them even more minority, that they already are in their country, and we shouldn't be us non-African Americans. We shouldn't really trying to meddle too much in African Americans issue in America because we don't know we haven't experienced what the ancestors experienced. We can't minimize it. And we had the same problem in the UK when a lot of the Africans moved in. Instead of having to work with the local people who already been there, we started working with them because we want to take their jobs or we want to replace them as good blacks. And the thing is, if you don't have anything to offer to the West, to America, to Europe, etc., no matter how good you want to be as a black person, they will still see you the same. Okay, so therefore, I agree. Some of the African Americans and Latinos should be part of the immigration system, stopping the influx of people that is actually against their interest, because that's what the world is about today. It's all about self-interest and self-preservation. And so, yeah, we shouldn't actually look at African Americans who've been part of the ICE or immigration or the system, looked at them as cons, because we cannot do that. So I agree with that concept of them being part of ICE, being part of the government, being part of the police. And also you have to be part of the system to be able to see what's in there and also change direction, whether it's going to the wrong or if it's going to the wrong direction now, if the ICE are turning on, rampant on black people, you need black people in ICE to actually, see some of these things. Even though they might not be able to act straight away, but they can be able to document that and expose some of the issue. But if there's no black person in ICE, it's all white people running in and out of the country, running in and out of the neighborhood, doing all kind of stuff, like the police, for example. There's no transparency there because you need some of your people in there to see what's happening. And I'll pause it for now. Thank you, Daniel.
All right, go ahead, Alan, and I'll pass the wildflower. You got something to say, Alan?
Yeah. Basically, I think that black people should take the ICE job, but just understand that there's a stigma that goes along with it, led by politicians that we have, and by I saw Kwasi Nkrumah the other day talking down to a black woman who was part of ICE, and pretty much compared her to joining, like Bull Connor's, police and all this stuff like that. So you could join. Just understand that we shouldn't lie and sugarcoat it, and tell people that they're not going to encounter significant pushback from both white and black people, and your life could be made quite difficult. But the money is pretty good. So why not? It's a government job.
All right, go ahead, wildflower. Then I'll pass the message Connor after that.
Yeah. Hi panel. Hi Dennis. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I definitely don't agree that Black Americans should be doing these ICE jobs. And one of the main reason is how these ICE job description involves having to attack other minorities
When you say
for
attack,
the
when you say attack, can you expand on that? What's attacking?
well, it's almost like to hunt down other people of color, which is almost like slave patrol. It gives me that feeling of back in the day.
It's not. It's not. It's definitely
Oh, you
not.
don't?
So I just wanted to finish my point. Thanks, Dennis. And I feel like the way these so-called ICE agents are behaving, it reminds me of sort of like what was happening in Germany before Hitler took rise, where a lot of people might probably are illegal within the United States, but we need to have due process. We can't just be like, you look illegal, so we're not even going to find out. We're not going to see and check your details. So I really don't think this is going to be doing any favors for Black people's image. And I don't even see Black people signing up for these jobs. And what I've heard that a lot of the ICE agents are IDF soldiers in Israel. So there's a lot of dodgy things going on.
What?
And yes, yes,
Stop.
yeah. This was shown on the Jimmy Dorish show, where a lot of
Jimmy
them have
who?
been trained in Israel. So we really got to be careful the kind of people we get in bed with, because we want to get paid, we want to make money, but there's ethics involved. And I don't see Black people being, because they're quite moral people, being involved in this sort of like, let's make America white again project. Because hunting down Black and brown people, because there's a lot of illegal white Europeans within America, but they seem to just target ones that have a lot of melanin. So then it goes, for me, I have to question the ethics behind this role. If it was targeting Ukrainians, which is like hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians have come into America, but they've just melted into society. So how is that fair when we're not targeting white-skinned illegals and we're just going for ones that have a bit of melanin? So I won't really take on the job because it pays well. I have to think about the ethics involved. And Black people that have a history of being oppressed in America, and if they take on the role, it's like, oh, I'm just getting paid, I don't really care. It's just not going to look good for when it comes, when things turn bad in the end. And I don't want Black people to be the face of this evil thing, because globally, even here in Europe, everyone's like, ICE is such this evil thing. They're going around, picking up people. They're doing this and that. And I don't really want Black people to be the face of that. If the European Americans want to get rid of illegals that are Black and brown, let them sign up for those jobs. Let them be the face of that evil thing that's happening. And that's my point of view.
All right. She keeps dropping off. Africa, you jump back on a panel. You want to ask something? Africa, you there?
Yes, brother Dinus. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you. My sister Goddess, I ask you a question, my sister. The figure that you actually mentioned just now, I mean, in South Africa, do you know how
I'm
many
here.
illegal white Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah. Do you know how many illegal white Europeans currently live in South Africa? Do you know? Can you give me a
There's
figure
probably
on that?
around millions. It's quite a lot. And they just getting scot-free because everyone thinks the illegals in South Africa are the Nigerians and Zimbabweans. So I really look at this immigration thing. It's all about race. I don't really think, these Black and brown people are coming to the United States and they're taking over this, because there's hundreds of thousands of Europeans moving everywhere and no one bats an eyelid. So I would have sympathy for the European Americans, for the Black Americans. Oh my God, these people are invading your nation. But if you're ignoring the white ones, then I really have to question what's really going on.
Okay, yeah, that's my point. Okay, we have a country like South Africa. As much as I got my own reserve issue with Nigerians, but Nigeria did help South Africa a lot during the apartheid, the black South Africans to gain their independence and so on. But if you look at how they are repaying Nigerians, how they badly treated in South Africa with this Odudu whatever movement they got there, it's very embarrassing. So it kind of set us back, standing against you know, for example, if the white Europeans are seeing how black people have been treated in South Africa by their own black people, what chance have we got stopping them doing what they're doing in America? That's my
Well,
question.
this is why we have to be better, because at the end of the day, you can't be
Mm,
like this issue around immigration that's happening in the UK, that is happening all over
mm,
Europe, that's happening in the
mm,
Americas. It is about
mm.
the European demographics. The white people are not having as many babies. And for them, they don't mind if the illegals are white skinned, but they do mind if the illegals have melanin. So when they are complaining
Right.
in
Okay.
Europe, oh my God, we've been taken over, they don't mind all
Mm,
the hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians that came to London, to the UK, and they're just like, I've got a room in my house, you know. But these same
mm.
UK British white people, they will never give a room to an Afghani person, a Sudanese person.
Okay.
But I work in the UK, and when hundreds of thousands
Mm,
of Ukrainians invaded the country, no one batted an eyelid. You know why? Because they were blonde, blue eyes, and white skin.
Yeah.
And everybody
right.
was falling over themselves to offer up a room. Oh, you can come and live in my house. All of a sudden, the country had so much space.
Hey,
When it's
Wildflower,
black and brown
Wildflower,
people, they say, "Oh, there's no space. We're full."
Wildflower,
It is.
Wildflower.
It is about
Okay, if
the low birth rates. It's
we
not
got
about
okay,
immigration.
I got a question for you, Wildflower. Where are you from specifically?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm from East
She's South
Africa.
African. Oh,
Okay.
East. Okay. Okay.
Okay. If thousands of Nigerian refugees were to come to your country, East Africa, how would they be received?
They will be received well because we're already hosting millions of Africans from different parts, from Sudan, Congo, from, we don't get a lot of West Africans, but we get a lot of people from Eritrea, Somalia. We take in everybody. But at the end of the day, because we realize that these are our people, because if it's
Are
people who
you
stand out, that have white skin, then I guess maybe it might
are
be
you from
different.
Are you from Kenya? Are you from Kenya to be precise?
No, I'm from East Africa. I'm from that region.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
not
really
helpful.
pay a lot of respect to
Okay.
these colonial borders, but I'm East African.
Yeah, but to be precise, because I want to just see where you're coming from and which countries in the East
Well,
is
I'm
hosting
from
more
the
people.
East African communities, so that's as much as you're
Okay.
going to get.
Okay. For example, Kenya, for example, right? Kenya will prioritize the Indians, more than the black people. And also, let's be clear about certain things, right? If we speak to some African Americans, they will tell you, you need to finish. You go ask African Americans who live in America what they want and what's best for them, because these are the people that have lost, so much in terms of immigration coming in their country. Because in the UK, we well know when we had the Eastern Europeans, you know, came into the UK, when we had the extension of the EU, most of the
In
people that was affected.
2004.
That's right. Most of the people that was affected by immigration were the black people, the black African or the Caribbean descent were the, who came here during the Windrush. Because when the Polish came in, they can't afford to go and live in a white neighborhood like the neighborhood I live now. Where I live right now, if you're not in certain amount, I'm not sitting here showing off. I'm lucky because of certain circumstances. I'm living where I'm living it, right? But where I live around here, there's no way I'm going to worry about an immigrant coming living next to me because they can afford it. They don't have any connection to live around there. But if you go down the road, that's why most of the immigrants migrated to, like the Polish, and the all the Eastern Europeans and some of the Somalis and so on. Okay, and they migrated in there, and they affected the Windrush generation, who are the Black British. They was forced to be moved out of their own neighborhood where they was where they was born and brought up. So, like in America now, like the African Americans, is I think we need to ask. They need to decide whether to side with the white Americans or the Latino or the Mexicans. Which ones are the better allies? This will be my advice in moving forward. Which ones are these people? Are the Which ones are the better allies to go with? But to say we should tell African
But
Americans not to be part of enforcing immigration in the country that's going to affect them more and affect their neighborhoods. And I think that's totally disingenuous, my sister.
are the Black Americans going to be enforcing immigration laws against
No,
white illegal immigrants? That's what I really want to know.
They already are.
Are they
yes,
sending
yes.
Europeans back with white skin?
I
Is a
know,
black
I know,
is
I
a
know,
black
I know
American
somebody.
man holding down and pulling a white skinned Caucasian and say you're going back to your country? Because I want to see that.
My sister in America, there's two people been shot so far by ICE.
Yeah,
My
but they
sister,
were
there's
not.
two people been shot by
They were
ICE
not immigrants.
recently, okay,
They were not
and they were
immigrants.
both whites, okay,
Yeah, they were
one
not
white
immigrants.
Yeah,
woman, one
yeah,
black
but
woman.
if you compare to the hundreds of black and brown people that have been tortured, these are
They were
just
not.
two
I
white
think we're living.
faces.
I think you're living in
And
different
you can't
times, my
make that
sis.
be the
Okay.
example when there's hundreds of thousands of Eastern Europeans living and other Europeans, not even Eastern Europeans, that are in America
No,
walking
yeah,
around. Everybody just assumes they must be native. You know
No,
what I mean? And they
yeah,
look at the people who have a bit of melanin. You could even be Black American that been there since the beginning of the nation, and they'd be like, "Oh, you look a bit suspicious." You know what I mean? So
yeah,
this whole thing about immigration, I don't buy the argument about immigration. What I do realize, this is a racial problem. They are worried about a racial replacement. You go to any of these white nationalist groups, they're not worried about they want the right types of immigration. This is why Trump said he wants people from Norway, not Somalia, not Venezuela or Pakistan. He wants people from Norway to bring in as reinforcement. So if he says that, that means the country is not full. So what they're lying to us.
He was happy to take white South Africans. Let's be honest about it. It's
yeah,
one
yes.
immigrants that
but
they
he's
get.
also sending back some white South Africans now.
No,
And
I
I know
just read.
someone,
If,
I know
if
some
the
English people
if the
that's
country
currently. Can I
is
finish? Can I
full,
finish? Can I finish? Sorry, I
no,
was
you said a
speaking
lot,
before
brother.
you
Some of
interrupted.
us
no,
have
can you let
spoken
Prince
about
speak?
Guy, Africa, go ahead, and I got past the Africa. Go ahead, Africa.
Thank you, sir. So basically, I know a couple of people in the UK here. One is a woman whose daughter is in America. She's actually running from places to places from ICE, yeah, because she's been there a long time. And I know another person who is one of our supplier who got an elderly person in America who's currently going through like serious treatment, who actually acquire, they require 24/7 care, yeah, who are struggling with eyes issues. So these people everybody's
Are
panicking.
you comparing that to hundreds of thousands of black and brown people to one white individual? It's just
No,
very
but
silly.
no, I am not comparing it. But all I'm saying is, at the moment, the way things are, everybody is gonna get it from ICE. You can see what's
No, not
happening.
really.
Well,
Because
you
what
know,
I have seen, when
Okay,
the people that are
okay,
getting picked up,
I'm done.
the people
I'll
that
let the
the
people that live in
majority of the
America
people
speak.
getting picked
Okay.
up are black and brown. So when you
Okay,
give one white example or two, that's not sufficient.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. I'm done.
go ahead, Africa.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right.
hello, Abu Dhabi.
The question is, should blacks and Hispanics work for ICE? 100%. I mean, already there's tons of Hispanics that work, that are officers, that are blacks. And as we speak, right now, there are over 200,000 applications. Me, myself, I have padded my resume. I want to be in the volunteer force because they're going to be setting up a volunteer force, those who have law enforcement experience. So I'm putting, I've already put my name on the list, meaning if they need me anytime, as extra people who are volunteering to secure America, I'm part of those people. So yeah, most definitely, ICE pays great. It's a federal job. Those of you that, especially if you're young, you're looking for a great job, you know, ICE or Homeland Security, this is the best time to join.
How much
Great
they pay,
pay,
brother? How
great
much they pay?
benefit, great benefit. You're gonna retire early as well. You would be doing your country a great service. This is not about color. Nobody cares
Yeah, it
about,
kind of is. The amount of people
nobody,
that are
no,
getting picked up are
well,
colors.
if you're here illegally, who cares? You could be white, blue, green, purple.
Yeah,
As
I
long
hear
as,
you, but the white illegals are not getting picked up in thousands.
ma'am, be
No, I'm
quiet.
just
Let me
being
speak.
honest.
No, be quiet. Do you live in America?
No, I don't need to live in
Okay, you
America
don't.
to care what's
Okay, you
happening.
don't,
When that sort
ma'am,
of stuff
ma'am.
is coming
Do
over
you
here, and you're
know?
trying to participate
Be
in
quiet.
colonizer
Be
problems,
quiet.
good
Be
luck with
quiet.
that. Good luck.
Be quiet. Do you know how the immigration works? You
I know
cannot.
how
It's not.
immigration works in
How does
Western
it work?
countries. You're not
How,
teaching me
no,
anything
in
new.
America. In America, do you
I
think?
know how it works. I know how it works
How
in
does it work?
Western nations. So I'm
These
not silly.
people, first of all, when you come to America, to this country, all these people that are getting picked up, they have already had removal notices to leave this country. Okay? ICE doesn't just come and pick you up. They've
Well, it kind
already.
of does. I don't
Let
think
me
you're
finish.
following what's
Let me,
happening.
ma'am. You
Because
don't
why
leave.
are judges
Be
complaining about how
quiet.
ICE is
Hold
operating?
on. Be quiet.
You don't know better than the
Hey,
judges.
hey, hey,
ma'am.
Wildflower, some decorum. Be quiet. Go ahead,
Yeah.
African.
I mean, some crazy
Let me finish.
woman is sitting across in Europe. Don't know what the hell she's talking about.
No, I'm just
First of all, be quiet.
Go ahead, African.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
First of all, let's be clear here. Talking about black and brown people. Let's look at it. The Somalis that they speak of, they came here, as they brought them in as refugees. They had what they call TPS, and it's terminated. The Ethiopians, their TPS is terminated. Haitians have had this terminated several times. Nobody is crying. It means temporary. You're here temporarily till your country, or wherever is stable. And people that also claim asylum, like I saw one Angolan guy, they put his picture. They say he's a pastor. He came here with a tourist visa. And then, so tourist visa, you're supposed to go back. Your visa expires. You're supposed to go back. Instead of the man doing that, he goes and apply for asylum. And guess what? They denied his asylum, meaning he got to go. The judges, they give people these letters. They send it to these people. They gotta go and leave this country, and they refuse. See, a lot of these people come here, they think they are smarter than the American system, not understanding that each and every one of them are tracked down. Whether some of them miss their court dates, you don't want to go to court, and they enter the verdict, in default behind, whether you're there or not. So they're not just showing up to your door. The judge have already signed that, you need to leave this country. And these people are refusing to leave the country. When Joe Biden was here, he opened the border. All these people are coming in here. They are not adding anything to our economy. We are tired of taking care of them. We've been working all these years, us, the American people. We are watching people being put into hotels. They are bringing people from backward, third world countries. They are changing the American system. They can't speak English. You have some of them, they've been here 30 years. They're still collecting welfare. Enough is enough. Now we have a man in office who ran on making America great. So black people, Hispanics who are Americans, I mean the Americans, not the ones who don't see themselves as Americans. Your job is to protect your interests as an American. You are not the same as the people who are not American, even if it's the same skin color. A lot of these people don't live even in this country. Who cares about what they think? Come on, what happened to the American way of life? Look at it. You do not care about inferior countries. You don't care. Let them cry. It's not their country. Okay? They don't pay taxes here. They don't live here. They don't have great jobs like ICE. Go and apply for ICE. Okay? Do not let people brainwash you thinking that this is a race thing. These Democrats that are crying, these illegals they are bringing, this is their voting bloc. And these people, their job here is to nullify your job. Have you noticed lately the Democrats are not pandering to you as a black person? This is because they've brought in these illegals.
Free diamonds, they only do that when election season. When it's
Exactly.
time,
So they are trying to talk you into keeping people who came here illegally. There are people in this country who are already in line, who are paying thousands of dollars to regularize their situation, their status. So Biden just opened the door and brought these people in and tried to put them in front of everybody. You see what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question, brother?
Go for it.
To ask a question before you jump
Thank you. Afrodemos, do you think Black Americans or Black American or African Americans should align with I don't want to racialize this, but do you think they should align with the white Americans against
Yes,
the Hispanics?
this is their country. Yes, it's their country. They
Okay.
notice how at the end you put American there. that means they are American. They are not Sierra Leonean, they are not Gambian, they are not Nigerian,
Right.
Ghanaian.
Right.
They
But
are
did you notice?
Americans. They
But
are
did you notice?
Americans. Okay? They
Right.
are
Okay.
not, you cannot use your own, frame of thinking to put it on an
Right.
American person. This is an American issue. It's not a
Right. Okay.
skin color issue.
Afrodamus,
All right.
immigration.
Okay.
With all due respect, immigration is immigration. We understand the basics of it. Yeah, you don't have to be an American to understand this situation. It's quite obvious that America and the Western world has been deliberately flooded with illegal immigrants who, back in the days when I came to England, would never have got a chance to come here. It's deliberate. Yeah. The question I wanted to know, Brother Damis, is: can the people who walk into the country illegally, who don't have paperwork, can they vote? I mean, surely they shouldn't be allowed to vote. You don't have already.
So here's how it's working. So some of these congressional seats, right? So they, because they are bringing these people in and sending them to different places, Chicago, New York, where the places they want to change, because these Democrats, there's no way they'll be able to win, if it's just the American voters. So these people are counted
Bro,
as
you
part of the
talking
congressional.
rubbish, man.
Man, be quiet. Let me finish.
You talking? Don't tell me quiet. You've been talking rubbish for the past 10 minutes.
Right?
Let somebody else talk, man.
Look,
You don't know what you're talking about, bro.
The guy
Get off
asked
the
me
mic.
a question.
Hey,
be
let me
quiet.
ask the question.
So these people, right, that they are bringing, for example, if you look at the Somalis in Minnesota, it's like 80,000 of them over there, right? Ilhan Omar, if you go and check what she won by, is by the Somalian vote. So the to allocate like a congressional seat, it goes by the population. So they are bringing in these people and counting them part of that congressional area, which is helping the Democrats, get seats. They are counting just bodies. So this is why you are seeing these Democrat mayors and governors, out there.
Don't the people have to go and vote in the ballot box for the
Sir,
vote?
no, that's what I just explained.
Afrodamus, 30 more seconds. I got to pass the mic.
Yeah. So pretty much, yes. Every Black or Hispanic who is American, don't care, go and join ICE, protect the homeland. Forget about, what people who are not American, who don't pay taxes, what they think. They are here to gaslight you, trying to get themselves to align with you. They're not going to welcome you in their country. Forget them. Let's make America great.
All right, Cosmic Cows, go ahead. And let me read Brandon's super chat real quick. Shout out to Defiant Brandon. $5 holla. Africom is moving into the Sahel. I'm tired of being right all the time. Black Americans should align with white Americans to evict illegals. MAGA. Brandon, do me a favor. Put the link in the chat room of your reference for Africom moving to the Sahel. All right, go ahead, Cosmic Chaos.
Hey, what's up, bro? Peace and blessings, into this space. I'm enjoying this conversation, but before I go further, I want to say something to Dinus. Hey, Dinus, the short videos you're doing, keep it up. This was what I was talking to you about the last time I spoke to you on your DM.
You need to
keep doing it. You need to keep doing that at least twice a day, and maybe put a voice over it. You know what I'm saying? Take it serious. So that's another money making machine right there. So right now, so my comments right now is directed to Afridamus, because to me, when I listen to him talk, it seems like it's just one-sided. It's just a one-sided brain. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a thinker. And if you noticed, he couldn't call the Mexicans who are swimming over here refugees or immigrants. Do you guys notice that? The only people he was emphasizing that they're going to get back is the Africans. But he couldn't even call the Mexicans who are swimming and jumping over the fence. He could not call them immigrants. I noticed that.
Okay.
Number two, what about the Ukrainians who are coming here? What about the Ukrainians?
That's what they want. They want white people, so they're not going to say nothing.
You know what I'm saying? What about the ones coming from Albania?
South Africans, white South Africans.
What about your tax that is going to Israel? What about that? Again, Afridamus. You have this. I don't know where you're from. You're probably from Cameroon,
Gambia.
Gambia. Yeah. See, let me talk from an African perspective. Who the fuck is Gambia? Where we are talking about Africa?
Hey, oh God, come
So
on.
okay, sorry,
No, no,
sorry,
no,
sorry.
no, no,
Excuse my
no,
language.
no. Okay,
Excuse
okay.
my language.
Thank you,
Excuse my
thank
language.
you.
I apologize. I
Okay.
apologize. But I don't mean to be rude like that. But I'm just saying, Gambia. Come on, Gambia. Those are Islamic Fulanis and who are they? And the tribe
Don't
of
you
the.
dare, don't you dare. Senegal, where you from? Are you Nigerian?
Yes, I'm a Yoruba man.
Yoruba
You get what I'm
man.
saying?
You
Yes.
you better be careful because Gambia actually rescued a lot of Yoruba people that stay settling there, and they give
No,
them
no, no, no.
homeland and they feeding
No,
them.
no, no. Hold
So
on.
don't be
I'm not.
insulting Gambia.
No, I'm just saying that somebody who come from the Gambia is
You're
not.
the last tribe to insult. Hang on, you're the last people to
Okay,
insult
this is my
Gambia and
point.
Sierra Leone.
Okay, this is my point. A lot of Gambians are not exposed. You can tell by the way he thinks.
That's not true. Not a lot of Gambians.
Who
Stop
telling you from
generalizing again.
I have
America?
not met a lot of Gambians who is exposed in Africa. If you are looking for people who are exposed, you are looking at Nigeria, the Yorubas, the Igbos. You are looking at Ghana. You hold on. You are looking at
Hey,
the
but
hold on. Then you go to Senegambia. You go to Senegambia, and you look at the Mende tribes over there and the Mandinkas over there. Yes, those are very prominent too, but not
You are such
Gambia.
a
You get what
the
I'm saying?
majority of the people in the majority of the people in Senegambia are
Wolof.
Fulani and Wolof people.
Yeah. So,
So
but I'm just
what are you
saying,
talking about?
but I'm
Hmm?
saying in Africa, we don't look at the world of as somebody who's popular. We look at the
Criminality is
mandate,
not exposure,
the
sir.
mandate.
Oh
Sir,
my
I'm
God,
But
you're
but
speaking.
there. And
yeah,
honestly,
Criminality
hold on.
is not exposure, sir. And I'm speaking. I'm speaking about my
But okay,
people.
okay, three people
I'm
can't be talking
speaking.
at the same
Hey,
time.
let Cosmic finish. Go ahead, Cosmic.
let this full man finish after them.
So okay, so look, man, you can say, but I don't see when I hear Afrodamus talk, I just see somebody who is just one-sided thinker. He's not a deep thinker. He doesn't know what he's talking about because again, they don't want you here. They will pay you to take your own people out of here so you can reduce your power, your political power, your economical power. You are not even looking at that. Because guess what? You don't care about black people. You don't care about your own people. But guess what? Every day, people are coming from Ukraine. They are coming from Albania. They're coming from Israel. They're coming from all parts of Europe. Here every day. I drive with them. They Uber me home every day. I live in Los Angeles. Coming from Eastern Europe, from Hungary. So again, of course, you can go look for the money, right? But guess what? You lose economical power, you lose political power, and guess what? You are okay being subservient to the white man. I'll let it go to the next person.
All right, Wisdom never
Okay,
sleeps.
can I, Dinus, let me just interject quick, please.
No. Let me pass it to Wisdom never sleeps. And I'll circle back to you. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
Hey,
Okay,
nephew.
Dinus.
I'm going to try to clarify a few things and hop back off. But to the questions that you have for the topic is yes. If you are an American citizen and you're obligated to your country, which is here in America, whether you're born or naturalized, and they offer you a high paying job such as ICE, go ahead and go to work. Plain and simple, because those options don't come around a lot. Secondly, when the young lady was talking about, and I heard this, I know she got this from Jasmine Crockett about, it's like the slave catchers of the old. Well, that patrol, which they used to call the original police, it's not the same because at that time, let's please be clear, at that time, the enslaved people was considered property. So they was going to find or locate and return the property of the owners of these plantations. That's a difference from the people now who are individuals from other countries coming in the wrong way. They don't have no allegiance to this country. So therefore, it's not the same with ICE or any police force that goes after illegals, not undocumented, but illegal people. It's not the same as the slave patrol because these people today are not property, just like we are not property. So we need to really understand when people throw out something we feel like that sounds good, we need to do our homework. But we was only property at that time during that situation. We would not consider those human beings or anything as people. We were not citizens, not even 3/5 of anything. we was considered property as it was at that time. So
Now you're
that's what I
talking
want
about
to clarify.
title.
That's why I want to clarify with that. But in answer to the thing is, stop letting people convince you not to go make your money when you have a right as a citizen, natural born or any otherwise, of the United States of America to defend your country, defend your hood, your neighborhood, or whatever you need to do. But most of all, go after the bag, get a good job, and keep it moving. I'm going
But
to
are
say
they
that.
going to extend this to white people too? Is Afrodamus
Hey,
going to
hey,
arrest
hey.
the white European?
Can you
Can
shut
I
your mouth? You
respond?
just, bro,
Can I
Alfredamus, do I make a lucky this will work for you? Do a big, let make a lucky
No, okay,
happen.
one now. Maybe we'll go to one now. What did they happen? Okay, go ahead now. Oh yeah, talk.
So here is silly boy like you. You know what? Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Aphrodemus. For a dirty Nigerian who come, listen. You. The only thing. Listen. You sit there and
Mhm.
insult the people of the Senegambia. Yeah. Who are
Now I
actually
apologize.
linked to
I
the people.
apologize. It was Afrodamus I
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
wanted to insult. I don't.
Okay,
No,
so the
no.
people,
I
listen.
apologize.
I,
It's
I am
Afrodamus
I
I want
am
to
from.
insult.
Listen, you insult Fulani. I'm a Fulani from Sierra Leone. Also, let me correct you, bro. You people, Yoruba from Nigeria, you are the last people on this planet Earth that can
Hmm.
insult Mondays, Fulani, or West African people from the Senegambia region to Sierra Leone. Because the best thing you ever have as Yoruba people in this day and age that you're boasting about Lagos was built by Sierra Leoneans. These are Yorubas that you sold to the white man as slaves, who you're actually talking
Oh,
about
so it was
today, that
Yorubas
you
that still
rested.
built it. So it was still Yorubas that
Yeah,
built it.
No,
and
no,
there
no,
you
no, no.
go. You know,
But hold on, Africa. They were still. Well, maybe a couple, but the majority were still Yorubas who were turned
So you
back.
see how you're
let
contradicting
me
yourself.
clarify. Let me listen. Let me clarify this, right? Diners. It was the Yorubas who was brought the Creoles, the Caribbean Creole and the African American Creole, who migrated with these Yorubas back
Right.
to
It was a
Lagos.
few. I mean, it was a few. I mean, they became the state when the Yorubas
Can you stop
came.
laughing? Yeah,
When
yeah.
the hold on, Cosmic, hold on. But I mean, he has a point. But yeah, they did
Thank you.
integrate the Yorubas that did come to Sierra Leone. They did integrate with the Creole, but they still
Thank
were still
you.
when they returned to Nigeria. They were called the Sorrow, and
Who
then
made
Thank you.
Brazil and Latin America what it is today?
Can you
Even
just
in
let me
my
finish my point? Can
chains,
you
even
can
in my
you make
chains, I still built civilizations.
can you mention your can let me finish speaking and you can come, right? Those people who mix with the African American and the Maroon Creole, who already mixed with the Fulani, because according to the Joshua Foundation that you know recently that I've been reading, most of these Yorubas actually also got Fulani blood, but apparently that might be the connection to the Ilorin with the Kwara State, those people there who actually have a high IQ and they mix with our people in the far west who went back and actually gave you Lagos that you have today, that you actually end up destroying, turn to the beggar capital city of Africa. Okay? Let's not go there, bro. You have nothing against far west African people of the Mande, yeah, who actually built empires from the Ghana Empire, the Takro Kingdom to the Great Mali Empire. Okay? You have nothing on them, bro. So you cannot come here. Even Afrodemos that you insult his country in Gambia, we still have those Yoruba people in Gambia who Afrodemos people actually gave land and actually educated, who went back to Nigeria and they did educated your people. So the problem with you Nigerians, yeah, you've been exposed so many times, but you cannot see it. It's very embarrassing. I feel sorry for you guys. Anywhere you turn, anywhere you go, you feel like, oh, we are the best. We this, but the thing is, it's all mouth, it's all talk, no action. You always have depended on us in the far west throughout your historical, existence. Even
Okay.
the Oyo Empire that you built, the Oyo Empire
And
survival was
what happened when I shook your hand?
dependent. Yeah,
Allow me,
yeah.
Ni Ilorin,
The Oyo
Ilorin, and Apoja.
Empire.
Hold on, listen, let me talk now. When I allowed you in,
Stop crying. Stop
in
crying.
Ilorin and shook your hand, I trusted you as a brother. What did you do? You betrayed me. So
No,
you
you did
see, I
not get
am not a
betrayed.
stupid one. You betrayed me. Alani
You
was a
did not.
Fulani. Shehu Alani, sorry, was a Fulani.
Well, well,
Afoja
well.
called
Because of
him
that,
and
you
loved
managed to
him
get
as a
built
brother.
facility called
And
Lagos.
guess what? You, the
Because
Fulani,
of
you betrayed
the
me. Okay.
Because of that betrayal, you have the best city. You have one of the best cities in Africa called Lagos.
Man, what
Because of
are you
that
talking
betrayal,
about? I
you have.
have the
Can
fast
you
system. I
shut your
have
mouth?
binary numbers.
Can you
What are you talking about?
let
What are
me
you
finish?
talking
Because of that
about?
betrayal,
I have
because of that
binary numbers. I
betrayal,
can
you
build,
had
bro.
you have enjoyed power in Nigeria so much over the years. Yeah, you have someone like Obasanjo, you have someone like Tinubu, you have someone like Osibanjo over the years. I tell you
No
what, if someone
Yorubas
was
are
to
proud of
betray me
those
so
people.
much,
No
no,
Yorubas are proud of
no,
those
but it
people.
doesn't matter. But how much money are you making politically? Are you gaining currently from Nigeria because of those things? Because of
Nobody in Nigeria is enjoying Nigeria.
how many Igbo president Nigeria had? One, okay, and it didn't last for long because of
What are
what
you talking?
happened.
Let's get back to the topic, man. You don't know what you're talking about.
You are a very dishonest guy. But that's the definition of being a
When
Nigerian.
I
You've been
shook your
dishonest,
hand and took you in
scammer,
as a brother in
scammer, and a
Ilorin,
beggar.
what did you do? You fool animal. You betrayed me. Go ahead.
I did not
You
betray
betrayed
you, you silly
Afonja.
boy.
Alami
You
Shehu. Shehu
you
Alami.
came.
You be Fulani
Shehu
betrayer.
allow
Get
me. I
out.
don't.
Nice to meet you.
Well, hold on, let me interject real quick. Africa, do you know the story of Lauren and how Islam came to Lauren and
uh,
the Islamese and the
Yes, I know. I know. Listen, Elori, let me tell you the reality, right? Diners. You see, the encounter with the Fulani and the Mandinka and Yoruba, okay, it went way back during the Mali Empire. It did not start with Ilorin. They always have betrayed people
We
that
got
always
our
came to.
education
For me,
from you.
the definition of betrayal, the definition of the meaning of your tribe, Yoruba.
How?
I mean, traitors. The definition of Yoruba, go and Google it. It means traitors, people that you cannot
Who
trust.
accepted
The house
Islam?
Oh,
You were
people,
bringing Islam.
stop
Yariba.
it.
You
Stop
were
it.
bringing
Stop it.
Islam to my doorstep. You were bringing Islam to my doorstep. You
Yeah,
were bringing a foreign
Yariba,
religion to my doorstep.
Yariba. Well,
I
ask the
was the
Hausa
last
man. He tell
line
you
to African
why did the
ingenuity. What
Hausa
are you talking about? You were
why
coming to
did the
destroy what
Hausa
was
man
mine. You were
the
bringing
Hausa
Islam
the
into what
house
was mine. What are you talking about?
the
You were
stop
bringing
shouting,
Islam
stop
into
crying,
what?
stop
No.
stop
Let's talk
crying,
about
stop
it.
crying, stop
If I
crying,
You
stop
can
were
crying,
say,
bringing a
stop crying. Be a
stranger's
man,
religion into my
hello,
be
society.
a man,
if I
be
can
a
say,
man and talk and stop shouting. Be a
Islam
man
is
and
one of
stop
the worst
shouting and
things that
crying.
ever happened to Africa, my friend. So if you bought
You
that,
can
I'm
you
there
can
with you.
listen. I'm not gonna fight over foreign religion, bro. I will not fight over that. If you want to fight
But it's the
over foreign
truth. It's
religion, go.
history.
But
Your original religion
I
is
don't.
not Islam.
Listen.
Your
Listen.
original
I
land
have.
is Tuareg. You are a Tuareg. Your original land is not Africa. Your original land is oh, you are the what do they call them? You are the Carthaginians. You are what the European calls the Carthaginians. They have stolen your land
But
from you. Now you are roaming around Africa, stealing land. Get away. Using Islam to steal land. Get the fuck away.
Okay, guys, let me pass the mic to
let me
Kyler. I got
finish.
to pass
Let
the
me
mic to
finish.
Mexican Connor. Go ahead,
Oh
Kyler.
dear, you're embarrassing.
Go
You're
ahead, Kyler.
embarrassing, man.
Yeah. Oh, did you have say you had a Mexican guy on the? Is he still
Yeah,
here?
he's back on. He's back on. Mexican Condor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that guy. Yeah. Now, I wasn't here when he was here, but I just imagine what he said. You
Oh,
know.
hello, Carla.
Hey, what's up, Lewis? What's up, Lewis?
What up,
What's
man?
up, Louis? What's up,
I'll be
Louis?
setting the later on today, bro.
What's up, man? You haven't doing the show
Yeah,
in a
one
long time.
1,000. Hey, wait, Dan, if you got congratulate the brother.
In Amara, man.
Yeah,
And back to Mantica, man. I swear to
the
God,
brothers
man,
hit 1,000.
the laughs keep rolling in, man. You guys make the show, man. I tell you. Anyway, my thoughts on this, right? Is the fact that for the longest time, Black America has always been and
Hey, one second, Kyler. Hey, Mexican Condor, I muted you because there's feedback coming. But after Kyler, you're up. Go ahead, Kyler.
Okay, so what I'm saying is Black America for the longest time have been our agenda, our wants, desires, right? In the 20th century was hijacked by the so-called social justice warrior movement, right? These are academias and people who believe that Black people's progress is tied to America's progress on integration, assimilation, and betterment, or enlightening white people and stuff like that, being accepted by whites and make America a better place, right? That's beautiful, right? Because we sacrifice Black nationalist ideology. It means we separate ourselves. We just focus on Pan-Africanism, Black culture, Black everything like that. We don't care about this government. We're just going to build our own Black Wall Streets, Black towns, everything. We had our own Negro leagues. We had all that. It was Black owned. You know, that's what we were. That was our natural response to slavery and racism in America. But somehow after World War II, that idea of the social just integration picked up steam when you had large numbers of Latinos, Asians, Jews, and all these other people who said, you know something? You know, we're not part of the mainstream of America. We have no chance of getting the mainstream. We don't have the numbers, right? So what they did was they hijacked Black America through organizations like NAACP and whatnot, and changed the agenda from Black power and everything to everybody. Even when the fact that you got people like Fred Hampton will say speech. He was 21, so I'll give him a pass. He said it ain't about race, it's about class. No, it's not about class. You know, it's not about class. Because the Mexicans, as soon as they got a little bit of power, they threw Black people to the curb. Same thing with the Jews, same thing with the white females, same thing with the gays, everybody else, right? So here we are, 2026, right? We sit there and watch how we sacrifice ourselves, right? Our being for everybody. It was the Integration Act of 1965 wrote in on the Civil Rights Act. The energy from the Civil Rights Act came from Black America, you know? So everybody benefited from the Black America's misguided struggle of social justice, right? Now in 2026, there's a deafening silence in Black America. We're tired. We don't care about Mexicans anymore. We don't care about immigrants anymore. And to be honest with you, Black people really don't care about Pan-Africans or Africa anymore. That's where we're at right now. We see like we did all these things. We sent people to Africa. We did reach out for Pan-Africanism. It seemed like everybody turned against us. Everybody. Dynasty. Everybody showed that. And look, I'm not ADOS FBA, right? But they do have some legitimate talking points. You know?
They were murdered by the CIA.
No. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna go.
I mean, how many Black leaders in Africa and in Black America did the CIA have when that's a fact?
Oh, what about the fact that there's a lot? I would say a lot of Africans run by the CIA because a lot of them speak anti-Black.
A lot of Africans are misguided. Look at Tariq said something lately that he went to Africa and he's right. He made an observation, and I know some people are thinking somehow. He said there's a lot of kids here. It's a lot of kids running things. People are misguided in Africa. We are coming out of colonial. Look, let me tell you what happened. The missionary came.
Hey, 30 seconds.
Okay. The missionary came and took our grandmothers and turned their brain around, and our grandmother raised all of us. See, Black America is misguided. We are misguided. We have been penetrated by the CIA.
We're not misguided. It's just the fact that I think Black America is trying to prioritize itself.
Right? It should.
So let me ask you a question. Africa, right? Let me ask you a question, right?
No, this cosmic chaos.
Hold up. What's going on right now?
Kyle, let me do this. Let me pass
the cosmic chaos in the brain. With no sense. Just run.
I got it. Let me pass the Mexicano. Go ahead. Let me just
What's in your name?
Go ahead, Mexicano.
Hey all. So
your papa name.
Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. Okay, what does the Black America really want? I mean, at the end of the day,
we want to be left alone.
Be left alone. Okay,
that's not a question for you to ask.
Really, we want nothing to do with any of you guys, other groups of people. Would you shut up, leave us alone, go away? You asked, right?
I don't know. I'm curious. I just said, okay. So
I'm dead serious, right? We don't care about Mexicans. We don't care about Hispanics, whatnot. And,
Kyle, I disagree. I disagree.
Look, we listen to all these Mexican groups, right? Talk about a Mexican rapper talking about we don't want to do nothing with no blacks, stealing our culture, but dissing us, right? Black people have had enough. You know, we had enough with these people. You know, and so now they want the strength because they're weak. And they want the strength of Black America. They thought they were going to take on ICE by themselves and everything like that. And they realized, Black America is pretty formidable, right? And the bottom line, everything that, all the stuff like the social movements, everything like that, was done because Black America was involved, right? The strength of Black America of influence in culture and popular media. Hispanics don't have it like that in America, right? So they rely on us. All these other groups, agents rely on us. And we're saying, we watch these people during the Biden administration show the ass. They said all kinds of disparaging shit about us, and they freaking said all this nonsense about us and whatnot. And we said, you're going to deal with this fucking devil yourself. You're going to deal with this white devil yourself. We've had it. and we're not gonna put our lives on the line, right? If you think we're gonna go out there and put our lives on the line for you guys, you're sadly mistaken. That's not happening. Like I said, I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you guys win this thing, right? But we're not gonna put our lives on the line, you know, especially when we know what these people are doing. What? You ain't worth it, you know?
Mm, mm. But I do believe that people that haven't committed criminal offense or who never been to prison, like people that have kids, you know, and that been living in America for a long time, should be given opportunity to stay, and they should be treated as if, you know, they are criminals, and people should be the last. You know, they should be given amnesty to stay in America. You know, if they haven't had any criminal record, they've never been to prison or never caused any harm to the national security, they should be given an opportunity because you have some illegal immigrants that migrate to the UK. They have, you know, they actually work harder than some of the legal immigrants. Some
Yeah,
people come here, they got
that's
paper.
stuff that you guys got to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, that's true. But some people come here as illegal immigrant, legal immigrant, they got their papers, but they actually stay on benefit on social security.
Hold on. When you
Yeah,
say
sorry, Carla.
when you say stuff like that, right? What that does is this: if you're living in America, right? Living in America, we actually in America after generations, you know, we move up the social ladder. We're not gonna have to work as hard. I don't have to work as hard as my father and my grandfather did, right? So when you guys come over here
Yeah.
off the boat, whatever like that, naturally you're trying to come up to our level. So naturally you're going to work hard. That's all over the world. Poor people are going to work hard, right? That does not give you the right to say that you're going to come to a and they're almost like we're going to replace you. They're actually open saying, but you can't replace us, you know. So when you say stuff like that, you turn us against you because it seems like
that's right. I agree.
You're used against us when you say stuff like that, you know.
Right. And I do see a group of people that come to the West.
America, you'll starve. You know, everybody in America works
hard.
Can I get a chance?
No, you can't. Yeah, of course. Yes, go on.
Let me please speak. First of all, when that Nigerian criminal was speaking as if he's smart, because they do this, they think criminality means they are smart people. He grouped me with him in the same group, sir. You and I are not in the same group. I speak of America. Let me tell you where my loyalty is. When I took the pledge, here's what I said. I said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and what it stands for. That's what I said. One nation under God, indivisible, you know, with justice for all.
But
that's
I'm telling you that the people who
be quiet. Hold on.
Don't follow it. The people who wrote that shit don't follow it.
Here's the thing. That's what I pledge. I did not. Did you hear Nigeria in that? So you and I have absolutely nothing to do with one another. This is not Nigeria. If you don't like the system, if you're in America, pack your bags and get back to where the hell you came from. You know, if Ukrainians, white people you see and you don't like it, this is not your freaking country. Go back to your country and implement that over there. You're not gonna come over here and start talking about who.
So basically, you're a white supremacist.
Shut your mouth.
And also, you talked about the Senegambia. If you look at the ratio, you guys are distributed all over the world, and you're in prisons all over the world. Nigerians are packed in Gambia for better life. It's not the other way around.
Thank you.
Gambia,
they come with a lot of money, though. They come with a lot of money, though.
No, they are not. No, they are not.
They are. Not just coming to Gambia.
What money?
Without money.
If you look at
to exploit the economic thing you have over there.
Let me finish. Just like over there, right? In America and in
two of you are not enough for me.
Wherever
two of you need for more of you.
Let me finish. There is not a single country in the on earth where Nigerians are not in prison, whether it's in African countries or non-African.
What about the good part?
Okay.
What about the good part?
Let me finish.
None.
What about the good parts?
Hold on. You want good parts? Let me finish.
We don't have Nigerians trailblazing.
Let me finish.
Silence. Can you meet this guy, please? Silence, please.
You know, you claim that you guys
let Afridamus finish.
You claim that you guys are aware, but you are the laughing stock of not only Africa the world because you lack self-awareness. You don't. Let me
just talking, man.
You lack.
You saying a lot of things well, nothing well.
Let me finish.
You are saying nothing well.
You lack self-awareness. If you look at it, most countries, including fellow African countries that look like you, they don't want you in those countries, including the Senegambia that you speak of. Your people are there committing crimes. They are locked up there. They are getting deported. So
I'm a population of 300 million people. Our problems are different.
Okay.
Our problems are different. You can barely fit 30 million people in your own country.
Okay, so we can barely have 30 million, but you still want to run away from your problem.
We are bringing money again. We're bringing money.
No, you are not.
Africa.
Be quiet.
I am an African. I can go anywhere I want.
Okay, there we go. Are you guys hearing this? A minute ago, they were supposed to be these smart people, smarter than Senegambians, but they are flooding there, committing crimes.
I am a police congested. I can move anywhere in Africa.
Hold on. Majority.
This is what they do.
You look at it, even when you go in our streets, you got Nigerian women lined up as prostitutes, tarnishing the image of various
300 million people. 300 million people. You're gonna have bad
This guy.
Our problem is not the same. There's levels to this thing.
Look. So they are
embarrassment.
Look. Here's the thing.
No. Are you telling me there are no prostitutes in China? There are no prostitutes in Gambia. There are no Gambia prostitutes.
Let me finish.
Let me say this.
Can I finish?
Afridam, he has a point. Gambia is the sex tourism capital.
Exactly, but look at who look at who it was.
In Mali, Nigerians are there in prison. In prison for prostitution in Mali, as we speak, in the war zone.
Diners, like you do travel.
Let's talk about Black America's problem, man.
Diners, next time you make it to Gambia, please go around in that Senegambia and talk to those prostitutes.
See, how many times you will find out. Been to Nigeria, and how many times has this been to Gambia?
Why you interrupting me? Diners,
because
please,
you don't want to tell the truth.
Diners,
you don't want to tell the truth.
You say nothing well.
Diners, interview those women, right? Those prostitutes, and even some of the men. Ask them. You will find out what their nationality is. These people, they export criminality, degeneracy, and he's talking about
of course, 300 million.
Fix your country. Fix your country.
It's the law of opposites.
But for
everything
in Mali,
criminals, you have Nigeria. There's hundreds good and great Nigerians.
In Mali, there's thousands of Igbo. In Mali, as we speak, there's thousands of Igbo women and children languishing in Mali prison for over 6 years. I'll send you the link. Right now. You guys keep talking about. You guys keep hating us. We're listening to you. We will punish you precisely. You don't understand Far West. We are the Wild West for West Africa.
As a Yoruba
you guys don't know.
Listen. As a Yoruba man, I thought that
during the Mali Empire, my mother is Mandinka, my father is
if I break your law, do as you please.
You were our slaves. The Yorubas have always been our slaves in the Far West. Currently, yes,
you could not conquer me with your Islam. I stopped you at Ilorin.
According to the caste system.
I stopped you at Ilorin. You could not come into Africa.
According to the caste system of West Africa, the Yorubas are known as the perfect slave to the Mandinka and the Fula during the Mali Empire. Now you can go
your woman love her dick. Your woman love her dick.
Look. You can say what you like, but it's just true. It's written down. Okay,
it's okay.
You can go to sleep for that, my friend.
You after you betrayed Afonja. The only reason you could take the law was because of the betrayal. You betrayed
the name of your tribe, the meaning of
the Yoruba man stood up and conquered you there at Ilorin. You could not move further. That's why you're trying to use Islam to steal land. That's what you're trying to do.
The definition of Yoruba is betrayal.
I tell you, Yoruba man is never a slave anywhere he is.
You know that?
The Yoruba man is never a slave anywhere he is.
I grew up in Yoruba. I love Yoruba to pieces, but I hate Yoruba
when the Yoruba man stoop low, he stoops low to conquer. You are mad. The Yoruba man will never
damn.
stoop low
Is that-
for no reason. You are mad. When the Yoruba man stoop low, he's too slow to conquer. You don't know what you are talking about. You can never
your
conquer
people,
me. That's why you are using
your God.
Islam to do what?
Yeah,
To
in the
steal
mouth,
land.
in the
Come
mouth,
on.
yeah.
You don't know what you are talking about. I can never be a slave. Èmi ọmọ ní jogún ọlá èmi ọmọ
the
tẹ́lí
Ghana
kan náà màá wá
Empire,
síbò
the
lọ́rọ̀.
Taku
Èmi
Kingdom, the
lẹ́sìn
Mali
lọ́rọ̀ máa
Empire.
jẹ́ tí kò jẹ́ kí n èmi
Oh,
àwọn ìtàkùn yá.
I feel never see there in the Munku. This is a Munku boys.
Munku, you this primitive world of Mandinka. Oh my God.
Primitive, that's why you're still our slaves. You're always gonna be our slaves. Even your president
woman
right
will
now is
still run
working
to my
for us.
room at night. Your daughter still runs to my room at night. She loves the reading. She loves that African power.
Even a baboon will not come near
You
you.
lost your to Islam. You lost your power to Islam. I retained mine. That's why you could not conquer me. That's why you could not conquer the African religion. Get out. You are a slave to Islam. You are a slave to Muhammad.
You're a slave to Islam. You're a slave to Muhammad. Get out. Me, I'm a village boy. I never see the town until I come to Sierra Leone and Gambia. Then I see 24-hour light and water. Before that, I was in the village in Nigeria, eating omo and talking Fulani. This is how you sound, bro. You sound so dumb. Nigerians are embarrassment of Africa.
You are embarrassing yourself.
One day,
you were trying to bring Islam into my land. You were trying to bring Islam into my land. You lost your religion. You lost your faith. You lost your God.
Islam so
That's
far.
why you are dispersed around Africa. You have no land.
So much. Because Islam come and whip your ass. And they're still whipping your ass. And you think they cry. Because
there's Malikism. So what is Malikism? What is Malikism? What is Malikism?
We don't come here to
Islam
fight
did not
over
conquer West Africa.
religion.
It was Africans who were trying to conquer Africans with Islam. What are you talking about? What is Malikism? Malikism was African people using African tradition mixed with Islamic Quranic verses and shit. What are you talking about? So even the Africans did not even do the real Mandinka and the real people of that Senegambia did not lose their motherfucking religion. They just add some things that they made sense in the Quran to their African religion. Your mother is
Mandinka.
We talk about history. Talk about history here. We are talking about history.
Very well. And we wrote books
we are talking about history. You don't know what you are talking about, man. You are talking about a historian, bro. You don't know what you are talking about. You are just trying to gaslight me.
It's still relevant because you haven't changed your ways. You haven't changed your ways.
You could not use Islam to conquer me.
Me and
you were the one using Islam to steal land.
Work it out. We got the advantage over you for a long time. Yeah, we always have. We always will. Yeah?
Okay, whatever you think.
I know you're angry. I know you're angry. I know you're still angry over Ilorin because we took that from you and you lost it.
Nomad, a nomadic goat, a Fulani that hots cow from left, right to center, an uncivilized man who does not respect other people's farm. What are you talking about?
You are saying out of emotion. I know you're saying out of emotion.
You are a nomadic jargons man, man. Go away. You're a nomadic.
I love it. I love it. I will never replace.
Your land has been stolen away from you in North Africa. You are using Islam to steal land.
I thought we came from Middle East now. Now we from North Africa.
I'm telling you, before the Senegambia region, even the land that you are in Senegambia is not yours. It's the wall
the one of that we gave home. It's their land now.
Whatever, you don't know what to talk about.
The Fulani is Senegal is belongs to the Serere, the Jola, and the Fulani. Serere, Jola, and Fulani. That's what Senegal is.
Your original land is not in Africa. Your original land is not Africa.
You gotta take a quick commercial break.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
That is, where did he find his village boys? Where did he
Mr.
find his
Man,
village boys?
Mr. Man,
Yeah, where did he
Mr.
find his
Man.
village boys? For
Let's
you
talk
to
about the
sit there,
conversation. Let's
okay,
look at
okay.
all this
Look,
topic is
we go-
irrelevant, man. Let's just forget about it, man. You're going to take what you
Okay,
think. I'm going to take what I think.
okay. Listen, the people in Mali. Before I go further, yeah, go and rescue your people in Mali. There's thousands of
I
Nigerians
have a
in the prison.
population of 300 million people.
There's
That is
thousands
a
of
whole lot of black
Nigerians,
mouths to feed.
women and
Anybody
children,
that
as we
break
speak.
their law, anybody that break your law in your country, do what you please with them. It's your land. If they break your law, as a Yoruba man, I was taught anywhere I go in the world, you obey their law. And whatever your
my
eyes
friend,
sees, after
I
you
did
break
not
it,
ever.
it's up to
Can I
you.
finish? Yeah,
So
I never intend to come here and have this tribal thing because you know why? I grew up with
it's
Yoruba people
okay. It's
here, and
necessary in
some of my
Africa.
best
We need
friends.
to talk about it.
No,
We need
but
to talk about
some
it.
of my best friends,
So it's not
some of my
fine.
best friends, and some of the most people I love in this world are Yoruba people, and I have the utmost respect for them. But when
Brother,
he
I
came
don't
on,
feel any way about this conversation. I don't have any, like,
okay,
honestly,
thank
this
you.
conversation,
No, okay, okay.
I know.
I am okay. This is low. It is a very low bar for me to actually engage in that
But we were
Nigerian
talking about
psyche.
history too.
You know, you brought the energy very low in this conversation. This is why I don't like to interact with Nigerians. This is my personal opinion. Because Nigerian, whenever you're trying to have a conversation, if it's not to do with religion or tribe or regionalism, they're not good at it. They
But
cannot add any value. Can I finish?
again.
Let me finish. You
But no,
let me
I
finish.
have to interject right here, real quick. Brother,
Okay, go on.
these things we call ourselves, Senegambia, Yoruba, Nigeria, these are not the way we were. That's why we are confused. We don't know which way where is the real boundary of my brother's house. That's why we're not talking about it is a problem. What does it mean for you to be Senegambia? What does it mean before European came in and messed up this thing?
Nobody knows that better than me and Afrodemus. Listen to me. Me and Afrodemus, Afrodemus came from the great Soninke, tribe of
The great
the Ghana Empire.
Yeah.
Yes, the Ghana
Not
Empire.
the current Ghana, not the current Ghana.
No, exactly. At the same time his empire was going, our kingdom was right next to it. They called it Takrur Kingdom. That's way before any color person touched the land of Africa. Okay? When you sit there and say, oh, we came, so when you say, oh, we came from this, that's just so bullshit because we know our history. The Takrur Kingdom and the Ghana Empire was side by side at the same time. Before any Tuareg, any Ababa or Tuareg, let me finish, you can come. Before any Tuareg or Baba or Islam came to West Africa, the Soninke Empire was an Islamic empire. It was not religious empire. It was the first empire that built houses and sculpture based on stone before Europeans. Okay, the Takrur Kingdom was a kingdom that led the conquest of the Almoravid dynasty to Spain. It's a kingdom that actually enabled the dusty Barbers who came to Africa, who we actually work with. We used to trade. We used to actually trade salt and gold with them. We helped them to conquer Spain. That's when we became Muslim. The first man that ever wrote. The first man that ever wrote. The first man that ever wrote. The first man that ever wrote books in West Africa is a Soninke. It's a Soninke.
So you guys are the bastards who brought Islam to Africa, right? You're the bastards.
No. The Barbers brought Islam to Africa. Can you shut up? The Barbers brought Islam to Africa.
You linked up with them.
No,
Yes,
no,
you
yeah,
do stop
no,
them, man.
yeah, no, hold on, man, hold on. The
And,
Barbers came there, yeah.
and you
They
still
came there because we used to
terrorize
trade with
them
them.
over bloody Islam.
Louis, you cannot force
The-
perspective on us now. We can listen to you,
no,
but you
wait,
cannot force perspective on us.
Louis. Let me just say
To
exactly,
hell with
Louis.
Islam.
They,
And nothing doing in
Louis. Okay,
Africa.
Louis, let me finish, right? They brought that there because we used to trade with them. They wanted to bully us, yeah. They wanted to bully us, but there was so many infighting in the area. Some of them aligned with
That's
them,
how
but
they always
also,
win. That's how they always win.
yeah. So they came in there with their horses and stuff, but then we managed to use their writing system. The first man that ever write in the Quran, it was a Soninke man. Yeah, they the one. That's the reason why in West Africa the Soninke are known for their education in West Africa. You cannot beat them. Most of our teachers, most of our scholars in West Africa are from Afro-Debos tribe. Yeah, most of the scholars in the Mali Empire was the Fulani and Afro-Debos tribe. They're the one that used to write the history and the mapping and everything in the region. Yeah, so there's good and bad of our religion. Of course, Islam, the Arabs being our longest enemy. Let's not get that twisted. They always have caused problem. And also, I'm one of the people that speak out against this Arabization of our people. Yeah, I am one of the people that actually think if we're going to continue being Muslim in West Africa, we should distance ourselves from the Arabs and keep our own values and also being an African Muslim instead of being Arabized, like what you see happening in Sudan before it's too late. Because we already learned from what happened in Mauritania.
Well,
Because
let me
Mauritania
interject
used to
real
be,
quick.
yeah, go on.
See, Islam couldn't conquer West Africa. It came through trade,
Thank
right?
you. That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Right. So now,
They,
how
they,
the
they, tried, they tried to conquer the Ghana Empire, but the warrior king, which is the name of the
Islam
Ghana
was
Empire,
spread through the
he was
sword.
too strong
Okay?
for them.
Islam was
conquer?
spread through the sword. Don't try and conquer to
No,
any
not in
other
West
way.
Africa. No, not in
Islam
West
was
Africa.
spread through the sword.
Not
It
in
was
West
spread
Africa.
through the
Not
sword.
in West
It
No,
Africa.
was spread through the sword.
it did in Chad. It did all the way to Chad. It did all the way to Chad. He's right.
Not in
It
West
did the
Africa.
Islam. No, it's
Well, are
into
you
Chad,
doing well
not in
into
West
West
Africa.
Africa?
No, let me just finish.
Huh?
There in they came to the sword. There was a warrior who left the Middle East and who stopped in where today Chad is. Yeah, and they built a fort there. And I believe some of these people that you see in that region are the descendant of those early migration of Arabs, that came into that region where you have, I don't know if they probably part of the reason why the Borno Empire was
Uh,
destroyed or the Songhai, but that someone that knows better can come in and actually help me on that. I don't want to go into it because I
okay,
don't know.
so let me let me
But in
let me
West Africa,
interject. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
mhm,
ahead. Go ahead.
okay. So in West Africa, the Ghana king was too powerful. We were worried. We don't. These people they actually came to seek alliance with us to conquer Spain. So if they were
The
if we
Almoravids.
that yes, the Almoravid. The reason why the Almoravid actually was successful is because of the Fulani Takrur kingdom, the Takrur kingdom that was right next to the Ghana Empire. They're the one that helped them to go and take Spain. They tried it a few times. In fact, one of the reasons why we helped them is because one of the king in the Ghana Empire, his daughter, were kidnapped and taken to that region in what you call Spain and Portugal today. So he thought, well, this is a good idea because we need to take a vengeance back on them, and so we need to be careful. Like we don't know our history. It's like okay, the Tuaregs they came and settled in our region. We intermarried with them and so on. So what?
Why? Why
The
did it
Tuaregs,
try?
yeah,
No. Why did they come? Because they were chased out by the Arabs.
yes, they were chased out by the
Algeria,
Arabs,
the
but
what you call Algeria,
yes,
Morocco, Tunisia,
yeah,
Algeria. Those
we have
were
the Tuaregs. Okay, we have the
so they had
Tuaregs,
to
and
migrate into in
then
Africa. Yeah.
the problem with the Tuaregs, okay, when partition happened in Africa, okay, when the European asked them, where do you want to be? Do you want to be Black Africa or you want to be with the North? They said they want to be Black Africa, okay. So they have pressure, like where you see in Morocco today. If you look at when the problem we face in Morocco, most of the people are speaking out against Morocco, where the Tuaregs. Yeah, those barbers that live there in lighter skin, they just hate us. They don't want us there. You can see
No,
it.
let me
So,
interject real quick. I think
okay,
about
go
this a
on.
lot. I think about this a
Mm,
lot. That at some
okay,
point,
okay.
right,
Hey, let's
when
get
we
to the
unite.
subject, brothers. We're waiting a long time. Time is
Hold
coming,
on,
man.
hold on. Let me finish my thought real quick.
Finish and let me
When
take over after us. Let me back.
okay,
Mm,
when the time comes, we Black
yeah.
Africans need to move back upward and chase those Arabs away.
We need to get the Tuaregs on our side. I can guarantee you, if we get the Tuaregs on our
Yes,
side and they
exactly,
get the Malian,
exactly. Because it's their
what
land.
AES is
It's their
doing now,
land. Yeah,
what AES is doing now, we work with the AES and get the Tuareg on our side. We'll take that land back.
Hold
We
on,
got more population than them.
already doing that. All you Africans are migrating there anyway because
but
Yeah,
do
we
you know the
are.
population of
Honestly,
Africa is a lot, though. We're a lot.
you got
The
that
population.
whole giant continent. Why are you guys always migrating to somebody
Eh,
else's?
okay, but Kala, see, you have to put things into perspective and
I'll put it in
context.
perspective. Those people
No,
have
no, no.
been there
You are thinking
those
like a
people have been there
1960
just as long as
pro-black American. You get what I'm saying? You are seeing the world. Okay,
Look,
go ahead.
Phil, those people have been in North Africa as long as black people have been in West Africa. Simple as that.
Ooh,
The Berbers, you know.
yeah, the Berbers are Africans.
yeah, the Tuaregs are Africans, no doubt about that.
Yeah, the Berbers are. You are calling the Tuaregs the Berbers. The Berbers are the Tuaregs.
No, Barbars are not Tuaregs. They're different. They're not the
No, no,
same.
no,
They're not the
no,
same,
no.
bro.
The Nigerians build their country, while the Senegambians build their country.
But the Berbers, the original Berbers are black too, right?
Everybody else talk about taking over, you know.
Yeah. So
Uh,
what I don't
look,
understand, my Nigerian
look,
brother, how comes? How? Yeah,
Al,
Lewis, go
let
on, Lewis.
me,
Yeah, go on, Lewis.
no,
Go on.
here's the thing. Let's get back to
And
2026. Look,
Oh, okay.
this is why,
Yeah.
ICE is needed. And, because imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, for example, this guy being someone's neighbor. We need to enforce noise ordinances. You see what I'm saying? We need to be able to
After they
enforce
was
that. We need to
I get
leave it.
what
we
you
need
are
to,
saying.
let me finish. Sir, you've been
I'm sorry.
talking.
I'm
I
sorry.
did not
I
even
apologize.
interrupt.
I apologize. I apologize.
If you look at it, like they said, life expectancy, one of the major things that affect and lower people's life expectancy in Nigeria is noise. Go read up on it. This is
Right.
terrible for people. We don't need that here in America. The man clearly said, his excuses, they have a bunch of people. So that means a whole lot of people, culture that exports criminality and negativity into other people's country. So I see why he is protesting against immigration. These laws need to be enforced. I support President Trump 100%, and he needs to hire more people. Like I said, my name is on the list of the people. I'm not even doing it to get paid. I'm volunteering. That's how much I want it. I want to do this, because primitive people like this need to go. They need to go back to where they came from. Thank you.
Okay, let me reply real quick, bro.
Can-
You need to get there. If you want to go like that, you need to go behind Black Americans. If you want to go that route, then you should be at the back of Black Americans. Again, we are not doing
You
this
see,
thing right. If you want to go that route, we need to play in America. We Africans need to play the politics of Black Americans. We need to play
Sir,
majority.
there is no we. There is you and there is me, the American. Big difference.
But so when you call yourself
There is
American, what does that mean?
sir,
Okay, when you say American,
sir.
what does that mean? Because there's no one America. There's
Sir,
no one America.
hold on,
There is
sir.
no one America.
Sir, there is you and there is me who is part of the Americans. That's it.
No. But it doesn't work like that in reality.
Well, that's
Because
the
when you go through an
reality.
application, you
No,
either black or white or
no.
Mexican.
Look, I
let
just told
Alfredo
you.
speak, my brother. Let him finish.
I just literally told you. We heard you loud and clear. Your excuses for you guys.
No, I am interjecting into what you're saying.
Finish.
Okay, what is criminality? What is criminality having to do with this conversation right here?
Because people.
So you don't have any criminals in Gambia. You don't have any criminals in Gambia.
Gambians are not going to people's places, bringing in degeneracy
Man.
like you are doing, like you are known for. Okay, that's what's happening. You keep saying population.
Yeah, you like to amplify our bad. It's okay. You don't talk about the good ones. You don't talk about the Nigerian professionals outside who are doing great. You don't talk about those ones.
Here's the thing.
You don't talk about the highest paid robotics in Nigeria. You don't talk about that one.
My brother, let Alfredo finish first, yeah?
I was speaking about America. You walked right into this and brought your degenerate country into this. I'm not the one that did that. Okay? So you need to honor.
You misconstrue my meaning.
Let me finish.
My brother, let him finish, please.
Since you lack self-awareness, I'm bringing you to understand how people view you and people are against this degeneracy and criminality. You cannot point fingers at regions that, the degenerate behavior that is being exposed about that place. It is your people doing that. You live in your country, going
Did
into
you hear
other
what I
people's
said?
country.
Yeah.
You're leaving
Afrodemos,
your
I said
country.
brought them to justice.
No,
Bring them to
no.
justice.
Afrodemos, the first
Why
thing he
don't you
did,
just
instead
why
of
don't you just keep yourselves in your country, since
Afrodemos,
you
you see the
know
problem with
since you
Nigeria,
know you have
when this thing gets
People
degenerate
don't
bad.
run
behavior?
outside of their country. How can the
Afrodemos,
Nigerian government stop that?
look at what my brother, my Nigerian brother, the first thing he did when he came on, instead of getting into the topic, he trying to deflect by calling Senegambia and that region of these
No,
people who
again, you
helped you out. So let me just
misconstrue
finish.
what I meant.
Yeah, who helped your people out so much, for you to say that, because we know what we done for your people, okay? We know that you don't, it's fine. We are great people. We know who we are historically. We know what we are managed to achieve. In fact, if you look at West Africa today, I was saying, yeah, the most advanced and developed countries in West Africa today and peaceful countries are part of the Great Kingdom of Mali Empire, where we have problem with the separationists and the ISIS and ISWAP, is Senegal, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. These are people who, most of these people you find there, they all came from the Mali Empire. Okay? And Traore, his people came from the Mali Empire. He's trying very hard to do that. We are all related people. Let me tell you, if you go from north to middle Ghana, all the way to the coast in Sierra Leone, we are actually the same people, whether you like it or not. We
No,
are
I'm not.
related. We all
Okay,
came from the
I'm not
empire.
disputing that, but okay, that's not what I look. When I spoke on
So,
what I
so
spoke
when
on,
you talk
hold on.
about numbers, I want you to bear that in mind, okay?
Okay, look, when I spoke about what I spoke
When
about
you finish, can I
earlier,
get in after you say
yeah,
that?
sure. I'll be very quick.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'll be very quick because there's so much going on right here. But okay, let me just get to the topic at hand and back to Afridamus. Again, I do not see, the reason why I think it's ethically wrong for you as an African, right, to be deporting Africans who are trying to look for a better life like you, because they are better with the US government could have done it. Because of course, bringing them over here was also towards an agenda. That okay, we are going to be. And by the way, the Somalian thing that is going on and the fraud, right? Who was behind it? A white woman. It was a white woman who was behind all that stuff. So my point is, just be conscious, have conscience. Because while you are deporting these people, a lot of Europeans are coming here without visa. There's a lot of Europeans here in LA without visa who are overstaying their visa for the past 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, working with Uber, having a job. Nobody's bothering them. Police don't pull them over. And the way you talk, you sound like you are a white supremacist. You sound like you don't care about your people. Because guess what? Either way, however you came here, you came here through, okay, the legal means. Maybe you had the means to be able to come here. Sure, kudos. But sometimes, man, favor comes in different ways. There are people here. What about those immigrants who have been here and they have built, they are honest, they pay taxes, they do all those kind of things. You just send them away? Come on, now that's been heartless.
Right. So may I interject? A new person on the stage. Respect
Yes.
to greetings, Dinus.
You're welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
You're welcome, brother.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing, you guys, and you guys don't leave because a lot of times I don't know if it's me that I come on here and the brothers from the continent leave. I did a deep AI search on Islam and the slave trade and all this stuff, and what I got, the information that I got, it sounded like it brought together a lot of information that I had gotten here and there, and I'll try to paraphrase it. Basically, it was saying that, and this is now I'm drawing this parallel to today in the United States, that what happened back in the day was that Africans were this group of people came to trade, and they came very aggressively, and I'm talking about the Arabs and whatever people we want to call Arabs, and this is not just the Berbers. So they came to trade, but wait a minute, now remember this slave trade thing was going on for 1,500 years in on the eastern and central and parts of Africa, right? So the tie-in is this, is that as they were taking people, they were also saying to Africans, look, if you do not trade with us, if you do not trade with us, then you're going to be enslaved. And the only thing that that could save them is if they joined the Islam group, because you couldn't
Brother,
enslave other
brother, what,
Muslims.
there was
So
nothing
now
we
listen to
played.
this.
We didn't play with the
That's
This is
Arabs.
the
plain
Let him
lies.
reality.
finish.
We
That's
didn't
a
So
play
plain
with the
lies.
so
Arabs.
there's a
That's
tie-in with
not
that.
true.
Now I know this is triggering you, but let me finish.
It's not a
So
trigger.
the
It's just plain
we
lies.
so the other part, because people start talking and it starts making me start talking fast and shit when people start trying to jump in. Here's the other part of that.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
The mistake that we make coming to the United States. Somebody said that they like what Trump is doing in the immigrant situation, right? Most of the black people in the United States are Democrats. Most of the black people in the United States are considering themselves not FBA, but African American, Black American. So we're along that track. So if you coming in talking about siding with Trump and the shit that he's doing, especially as he's moving and we see what he's doing, that you now put yourself on the adversarial side of African Americans. You're working against us,
Sean,
and
stop,
in the same way that the Africans
stop,
were
And this
working against each
conversation needs to be
other,
had. This
stop it.
conversation needs
same
to
way
be
we were
had.
working with each other when we were
Let black
complicit
people
in the
work.
slave trade, and
Hold on.
then being forced to take Islam. If you don't take
Let's
Islam, you're
mute
going to
this.
be sold in the slave trade.
Mute this little
That's
sister
the
real quick.
analogy that I'm making. I
Let,
know it's
mute
hard to
this sister. Let me.
Hey,
Genesis,
Kyle, I'm trying to hear Shaw.
All right,
I'm trying to wrap up. I'm trying to wrap up, Colin. Hold on 1 second. I'm making a parallel between the way the way we are as a people, we're coming over here, right? And we're working against the majority of the black people and what we wanted and what we think is the right way to go, and
But what is
whether it's
the
right or
way of
wrong,
doing things? You
whether
can't
it's right or wrong, the majority of black people are in the mindset of being Democrats and being
no, the
more
heck
on the
they're
left
not.
side
No,
and
But
liberal.
if it's wrong, why would you still side with people who you know are doing the wrong thing? Because
Well, I'm
then
not.
you are also working against black people. You are working
Well,
for white liberal women.
I don't think
So how is
I
that
don't think it's
beneficial to
wrong that
African
we don't
Americans?
align with Trump. I think what Trump is
When you
doing is
over here
wrong.
telling
He
African
went in
American
wrong.
men to
He
take
went
their
in wrong.
3-year-old
He's
boys
doing.
don't give a
and
shit.
He
chop
went
their
in
penises off
wrong. He's
because they
done
think they are
wrong.
born girls.
He went
How is that
in
African?
wrong. He went in wrong, and what he
That's like
stands for is
taking a
wrong.
lion's fangs out of his
Right.
mouth.
Andrew Jackson, who couldn't even tell which was a compliment what a man and a woman is. That's okay with you?
No. So you're talking
You
about
got these
that
Africans going
that
over
one
here
point.
And that's
adopting
the
You're
liberal
issue
talking
why
about that one
African, a
ideology.
point.
lot of people
These
can't, that's
Africans
why
are
we can't follow
conquered,
you,
yo.
y'all.
That's obfuscating what we're talking
No,
about. The bigger
you are a
point.
conquered
The
African.
bigger
You
point
are
that
the
we're
ideal
talking about
African.
is this shit that Donald Trump is doing,
What
right?
does
And
that
it's
got to
not
do?
about the
Hold
LGBT.
on,
It's
hold
not
on.
about that.
Hold on. What is Donald
Your
Trump?
continent doesn't accept that behavior. Yet you come
It's
over
not
here
about
and advocate it
LGBTQ.
to the
No,
It's
native
no,
not
hold
black
about
on,
that.
hold on,
You're
population.
hold on.
You
obfuscating
are
with
like a
that
traitor.
point.
Get out of this country,
You're
bro.
obfuscating with the
Not
LGBT
Go easy,
that
go easy.
Barack Obama was pushing. You're
African
obfuscating with that.
American. Barack Obama was not African American, bro.
It doesn't matter. That's what
Man,
he was the one that led the charge on that. And so
Yeah,
they're
but
trying to make the bigger point.
black people in
Barack
America.
We're
Obama is from
doing worse.
Pakistan.
But
Our unemployment rates are
Let Shaw
higher.
So
finish his
this is
point.
why
Right or
Trump got
wrong,
a
let
lot
him
of the
finish.
black American vote, bro. Because the
Yeah.
Africans
Right or
being
wrong.
traitors to the whole country. That's why.
All this stuff
Yeah.
that Donald Trump
That's
is
why we don't
doing,
care if y'all
you're
get deported
mad if you
because
support
y'all talk
Donald
like
Trump.
Right
this.
or
You're
wrong.
mad
That's
Right
why
because
we
or
of
don't
wrong.
all of
care
the
if
Let
you
shit
get
that
Shaw
he's
finish.
deported,
doing,
bro.
and it's turning out to get worse and worse and
One at a
worse.
time.
And that's it.
Uh, mm.
It's
Two
turning out to
Muslim
be
Shaw,
men.
worse and worse and
But this
worse.
is why we don't have
Shaw.
an affinity with Africans because they do work against this country. I'm sorry. And also, I'm going to be
You know
honest with you.
what?
I'm born in America.
Yeah,
I don't want to see
yeah.
Africans come over here, take wealth out this country, and send it back to Africa. I'm sorry.
How are they
If
taking wealth
America
out
goes,
of
I
America?
go with this country. I don't know what African country I'm
That's
possibly
because
originally
your
from,
ancestors
so
built
I
it.
don't want that to happen. I
That's
my
the
don't
wrong
American
way
want
to look
brothers,
at it,
people
brother. That's the wrong way to look at it,
my
brother.
American
Your
brothers,
flees
ancestors
from
built
yeah,
their
America.
country and then
my
scams this
Oh,
country. No,
SBA.
Right.
I don't
Your
align with those
ancestors
people. I'm
built this
sorry, I
country.
don't.
And
I
you're
don't align with those
patriotic to this
people. I
country, aren't
see them
you?
as traitors. I do.
Right. And you're patriotic to this country because your ancestors built this. They forced my
Absolutely. I
ancestors.
was born
Well,
here.
they forced
Absolutely.
my ancestors to
And the
build
thing
it.
is,
They
can
wouldn't
an
have built it
FBA
if they
go to
weren't forced
Africa
to
and
build it.
steal its
But your
wealth and then come
ancestors
back
built
here?
it gladly. They were singing and jumping and praising, just like that coon ass nigga in Django. The Django, Samuel
Scott,
Jackson's role. That was your ancestors, not my
Scott, you're the
ancestors.
Django. You're the Django for the Democratic Party, bro.
Your ancestors sold your people into slavery.
Well,
Can I just ask
the thing
Afro
is,
Diamonds a quick question, Brother Diamonds? Do you believe that the white South Africans are being persecuted, as Trump said?
No.
No, I mean Afro Diamonds.
Oh, Afro Diamonds. Okay, you said Diamonds. Okay.
Are you there?
And after that, I got to pass it to Ola. And after Ola, I got to pass it to T. Khalid. But go ahead, Ola. Afro Diamonds is muted. Go ahead, Ola.
Yeah.
Ola. All right, go ahead, T. Khalid. Unmute yourself, T.
Bro,
Khalid.
I see no benefit for black people to ally with the quote unquote brown people or even immigrants. Because the problem with these, and unfortunately, you got Africans on this panel proving it. And I'm not xenophobic to Africans, but they come over here and they adopt the liberal ideology. That's what they do. So they come over here, and not only do they adopt the liberal ideology, they want open borders. That is a massive problem. They don't care what it does to the native black born population. They come over and advocate for open borders. Then they also vote for Democrats who restrict online free speech. If you look at every liberal platform, including YouTube, we have to be careful how we talk on your channel, Dennis, because the liberals, hold on, bro, because the liberals will censor us. So then they vote for anti-free speech laws. And then we have a two-tier justice system in this country, whereas liberals can go around breaking laws, attacking the federal government, and then you got a biased system that covers them. But then when a conservative protests, he gets hunted down. And that's the problem, bro. I don't see why African American, well, FBA or whoever, native blacks, should side with Africans, because they come over here and they push the liberal ideology. They're also pushing feminism. They are pushing the male and female divide in the black community. They are adopting that ideology. So there's no benefit to us supporting you, because your social things that you support destroys the black family. It does not bring us together. You take that white liberal nonsense and you destroy the black family.
Bro,
that's why we support Trump. And we got to get Africans up out of here too, unfortunately.
Tikalik and Luis, and brother Luis, okay, 1 second. You see, I will give you a good example of what Tikalik is talking about, okay? Luis, you probably know better because you live in the UK, right?
No,
in the UK, when I came here...
Listen, hello. We are educated people here in the UK. We have a world perspective.
Yes, we are very. Yeah, we are. We are. I agree. We are highly educated. I agree with that, my brother. But remember when we came here, back in the days, like when we were young in the 90s, the black break like Jamaica.
What are you talking about now?
Okay, well, no, all right, then. I'm younger than you. Okay, I came here. I was young. That's right. Okay. So when I came here as a young lad, right? Most of the immigrants I found in the UK were Caribbeans. A lot of these Caribbeans, their parents were born here, yeah, and they've been here longer, and they fought this struggle than what is their struggle. It was totally different to the average. I'll give a good example because Nigeria came. The city where I live, majority were Jamaicans. There were the black people that you find were Jamaican, or like the Trinity and the Barbados. These were the people I grew up with. Okay, and their struggle were totally different. And the way they were, when they came here, this city was very racist. They have to be really, there was really, they have to deal with this racism issue badly. And they managed to deal with it. Let me finish, Louis. Let me finish.
You're trying to tell me how to suck eggs. I'm old enough to be your dad. I was here in the 70s.
Okay.
I went to school.
Let me just finish. Okay, let me just respond to T. Khalid, then you can come back with your old age, all right? That's fine. But what I'm trying to say is, right, when the Nigerians came here, in my city, they derailed all the hard work that the Afro-Caribbean and Black British did in our community, okay? They derailed it because they wanted to be the good blacks, okay? They wanted to be the better blacks.
No. You don't even know when Nigerians first started coming here, bro. You're talking rubbish. There are two types
in my city. I listen. The second minority in my city. The second minority. Shut up. No, I haven't finished speaking yet. Then you can come and yap after. Come and yap after me. Come and yap after me, bro.
In the 70s,
Let Africa finish. I got to pass it to Prince Steve. Go ahead, Africa.
Thank you, sir. The African, my city, there were no other nationalities in my city other than Caribbeans. And I actually liked it like that because they was actually have the ethic, they know the history of this place, and I learned a lot from them. Then you had the Somalis that moved in and the Nigerians that moved in. Okay, those two groups, the Nigerian and the Somali, doing all the hard work that they fought for in the city, just like that. Us black, we need to stop undermining other black people everywhere we go. I can see why African Americans are angry at Africans and why they're looking at Africans with heavily suspicious mindset. You can't blame them because they've gone through their struggle, yeah, without you guys, and they've gone through what they've gone through. You guys don't know nothing, and you just come in their country and you're trying to be the better blacks and minimize racism and minimize their pain and the suffering that they've been through just to get a bit of slice of cake
Stop making
that
excuses
belong to them
for
or
stupid.
that you
Stop
can
making
share with them. You
excuses
could
for
share
carrying
that
that
cake with
shit
them
around.
without having to,
Okay, stop making
I'm
that
not
excuse.
making the excuse. You could
Right.
share that cake of their struggle without having
Have
to
you finished now?
stab them in the back.
Are
You
you
could
ready to
share
listen
their
to a
cake.
real experienced man
Let me just say
who
one more
experienced
finish.
this?
Let me finish what
No,
let
you've
me
been said
finish
enough.
one word. You
You
could
just talk
share their
rubbish now.
cake without stabbing them in the back. They're very nice. They could give that to you. They could share that cake with you. Even though you never shared the struggle with them, okay? Now you can keep blaring, Louis, because I don't like you interrupting me. As a big man, I think it's very disrespectful.
Shut up and
And
listen.
really,
Shut
as a
your mouth
so-called
now. It's
black
my time
British
to speak.
educated class, you're not behaving. You're not doing yourself any favor at the moment. Just keep ranting. Go on.
First of all, it's not your
Go on,
show. It's
rant.
Dynasty's show. Okay? You just fucking walked into England. Bitch, I've been here since 1979. My dad was here from 1969.
Your mother is a bitch.
Right? Your
Whoa,
grandmother used to be fucked up the ass with two fucking fingers. Oh,
whoa, y'all, come on, man.
take him off.
Come
You
on.
should take him off, Dinah.
Come on. Hold on, stop. Africa, you gotta apologize. You gotta apologize.
No,
Okay,
you don't need to apologize.
I'm sorry, Louis. Louis, I'm sorry.
No, he's apologized.
No, Dinah, he don't need to apologize. All you gotta do is just show him his face quickly. Just show it quickly. Just let him put his face on it. I'll find him. He's in London. Let him just show his face for 2 minutes. That's all he's gonna do. I'll find the fucker. And you can tell me that shit in front of my face, little bastard.
Bro, I live long. I'm not a rude man, But I tell you, I got my people out here, my younger bro and my cousin can come and find you any little corner.
Dinus,
But
that's what I was saying.
yeah, go on, keep ranting.
Dinus, mute him. That's what I was saying. There are two types of migration here. Okay? There's the recent arrivals who came by walking across the desert and diving through the sea and getting rescued by the white man and happy to be anywhere in England. That's the last lot. And there's those of us who actually got on a plane, done it properly, and came to England. When we arrived here, some of our brothers and sisters who were from the Caribbean, who were under the British, okay, they were already here. They're the ones who done the hard battling. When we came after, we had to join them, and we fought with them on the streets. But we always acknowledge that they were here first because they were directly under the responsibility of the white man. Okay? That doesn't mean that there's no racism. It's just that in this modern age, the white man's got a better way of hiding it. The problem we've got is the quality of migrants. The white man has deliberately opened up the borders, let so many people in that you got prostitutes on the streets of Lagos and Accra coming in here, having kids here, and they think they're as good as the other people who came before. This is the problem. People like you, fool, who don't know the real history. Okay? The white man don't favor none of us. The migrants they want is the white migrants. We're part of the Commonwealth, so let one or two of us here. And then you who just came in, who your parents had you just to get papers, you think you know everything. It's your version that's in America that's putting people off. Okay, so next time we talk, we got real experience. You shut your mouth and listen. Come in there, blah, blah, like you know everything. Getting in your positions of power in politics and then making decisions for those of us who in a real struggle. Okay? We know what's up.
I live in the UK. I know when I can hear. Listen, your accent, the English you speak, you are not educated. You are speaking the road English and you're illiterate. I can guarantee you never been to university, bro.
You have to differentiate.
You are not
between
educated, bro.
Miseducation. You mean miseducation sometimes because we come from Africa with a colonial education. United States, we get a colonial education. Oxford,
Thank you.
Cambridge, that's colonial education. So remember, in the 70s and the 80s, and even more so in the 80s, the renaissance of this more black or African centered education was starting to correct a lot of that miseducation that we had. And I
Thank
and
you,
I
bro.
don't blame Africans coming here in a lot of ways from with that miseducation that they had, that they left Africa with, and then they come here and get more of it. And I think that the what correct will correct us and how we can work more together is if we do have that type of education that's more
Thank you.
liberating and teaches us
Right.
the real
Right.
history
If I could
of
just
our
conclude, my
situation.
brother.
Short of
Hey,
that, we will be
if I
battling
conclude,
each other
there are
and
different.
saying stupid shit to each other like we're doing
No,
about
no, no.
what it is.
He showed no respect. That's why I had to go him. It was him who came at me. Okay. Now those of us who've
No,
been
now
here
you're playing
longer,
it. You're playing the
right?
victim mode. You're playing the victim mode now, right?
Those of us who've been here longer, like I said, brother, all you got to do is show your face for a few minutes. I've already said it. That's all you got to
Listen,
do.
li-
Okay.
listen. See me.
Right?
I don't talk, bro. I don't talk.
Well,
I
then
don't.
shut
You
your
say
mouth.
what you
All
like.
I'm hearing is
I
your
don't.
fucking ass opening in and out. That's all I'm doing, hearing your fucking ass opening that up and down.
Now you're asking me to
Okay.
apologize for
Right?
insulting you.
All
Now
right,
Right.
you're asking for insulting.
Right.
I gotta pass the mic to
Right.
Jagoon.
There's
Go ahead,
different
Jagoon.
type of migrants who came in at different times.
Go ahead, Jagoon.
Excuse me. Nice one. Good evening, guys. Interesting enough. Um, as regards the UK and the UK black and the history of us here in the UK, you know, it's a history that is not really known globally, which is a bit of a shame because I think that we have an important contribution to make, and we have done. But I think I agree with the speaker who said that Africa, is it Africa? Africa? Yeah, I didn't know that you was in the UK. That
Oh yeah, yeah.
this the UK history is a serious one because we've been here for an awfully long time, and we haven't necessarily been here in organized numbers. And whilst we can speak about the African education elites who have through the UK from the 1800s, from a long time ago, you can read in most of the universities that we went to,
Right,
a lot of the
right.
students what they wrote, and they were extremely intelligent. But to talk about the Caribbean effect in this country and the strong backedness and the fighting nature of the Caribbean people, especially Jamaicans who were here,
Mm,
they did actually set a balance. They set a balance and organized
right,
understanding that you can't push us
right.
around. You can't. You've been
Thank
doing
you.
it for so many years. No, I'm speaking to the person who spoke that said that there's a history here. And what happens with a lot of the migrants who have come in after? I remember when the Nigerian migrants came in the 80s. Bruh, these were different Nigerians. They weren't the Nigerians that came in the 60s. The Nigerians that came in the 60s purported a different intelligence in how to rear families and organize themselves. Those that came in the 80s, wow, they're a different breed altogether. They were the real Nigerians, if you like, in terms of the class that they were coming from. And the class that they were coming from said that we're going to come here, take what's ours, and get the hell out. And that caused some strength, but it caused a lot of sort of um, disapproving uh, uh, foresight by the diaspora that were already here, both Nigerian and Caribbean, or African and Caribbean, because they were doing things that, boy, the crime went up when they now settled and became British, if you like. The balance is stronger now. There is a more of a grouping, but there is still no black community. We still don't have any energy, any strength. And I've worked in the black community for a long time. I ran a business directory, and I've looked deeply into our situation here. Put it to you that there are black people here in the UK, but we don't necessarily have a black community. I
Thank
think
you,
it
sir.
very much different in America. The black community in the UK are numbers, but not a power base, unfortunately. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello,
Thank you
yeah.
very much. Thank you for recommending
I'm
that, sir.
trying to.
Thank you, sir.
Can I have a word quickly, please? I'll do it quick. Yeah, I'm also in London at the moment. I think what the brother is saying is exactly right because it was two waves. I mean, like my parents came here when in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and the second wave of Africans and Caribbeans came here in the 80s. If you look at the first wave, I mean, those are the boats. What's it called again? The Windrush era, and even the Africans that came in those times, they were like just after the Windrush, and they were the intellectuals, the elites, and all that. And then you have the 80s period where Britain actually in its late 70s, the economy crashed. They even got loans from Nigeria to actually prop up this economy, and they needed migrant workers, a second wave of migrant workers, and that's when the second wave came in from the Caribbean and West Africa, mainly Ghana and Nigeria. But the second wave that came in, that well, that's our problem. I mean, like that they literally came in and did a lot of things. And recently, in the 2000s, the government couldn't handle the crime rate anymore, so a lot of the yardies were sent back, and they brought in laws that if you came in here 5 years old and you commit crime, after your jail sentence, they're taking you back to Africa or the West Indies. Same thing happened. I mean, now you could hardly find any yardie. I mean, the whole London is now quiet because in the 80s, literally people were just slaughtering each other on the streets. So what the brother is saying about the waves is two waves that came in. And unfortunately,
Thank you.
right now, I drive around London and I could hardly see the black community, which is so sad. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you have a
those
crack
that came in the
epidemic in the
80s,
80s like we did?
yeah, they were supposed to replace those who came in the 60s. You know, that's what we call about replacement. Like the Chinese, they had the one baby, da 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 da. Right now, they need a replacement. Japan, same thing. Look at a lot of countries. That theory is very, very important, and I wish the Black Americans also take note of that and find a way. That chronic abortions that they need to look into that because it will come a stage where the replacement is going to be a problem, and we're suffering that right now because I can't see us here in London having how we're going to build our community. It's very sad. Very, very sad
Well, we
indeed.
had a crack epidemic
Hey,
in the
guy,
80s.
let me pass the mic to Yamoja because she's been waiting. Go ahead, Yamoja.
Hi, Dinest. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Hope you're staying warm over there.
man. So Yamoja. So my no, listen. So my pipes froze this morning, but listen, because I forgot it. I left a couple of my faucets dripping, but I guess not enough. So what I did this morning, I ran to Walmart to get like a blow dryer to try to thaw it. That didn't work. So I just went under my crawl space and just set up a little space heater. And then like around 3 o'clock, I ordered like this heater gun from Amazon. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to maybe do it this way because it still wasn't the water still wasn't running. So I go to on Ralph David Abernathy, there's a Ace Hardware. So I went to Ace Hardware just to get like a new PVC pipe, just in case shit goes wrong, and some other things. I come home, I got water. So yeah. So I'm good
Wow.
now. Yeah, I'm good now. And the pipe and thank God the pipes didn't burst. So I use
Yes,
my
because that would
sister
be
to
another nightmare. My
yeah,
sister
exactly.
sent me a picture of her house in Alpharetta. It looked like a freaking winter postcard. So,
But you know what's weird, Emoji? So I'm in the West End, like that up there. I mean, it's only like maybe 30 miles away. If
yeah.
Alpharetta from the West End, they got snow, but we didn't get it in the West End. Like we didn't get it. We just got cold weather.
Yeah. 80 here today. So, but I'm calling in on the topic. I absolutely think that blacks should join ICE. Um, get that sign-on bonus. I think the sign-on bonus at one point was 30,000 or something like that.
Did you say join ICE?
Absolutely.
I
That's what I said.
agree. I
I
agree.
didn't
It's a good
start.
government job. Absolutely. It's a great
Absolutely.
government
Get
job.
those benefits. Get
Mm.
in. Get in that
Be a
ability
slave
to
catcher.
transfer. Whatever you want to call it. Because if you're legal here, then I'm not sure how that makes you a slave. But
Uh, the police took the place of the slave patrol. The police that was set up right after that, and the same type of things that they were doing, they were catching people and putting them in the chain gangs. They were doing the same, basically the same thing as the slave patrols. That's what the police department is an
but
extension
we're
Yeah,
of.
talking
yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
legal
yeah. But when we talk about,
status.
all right, but Shaw, it's different because these people are just getting sent back home. So I don't
Yeah,
know how
because
that affects.
I'm in one
And
of the
shot
largest sanctuary cities,
and
so
shot.
my tax dollars is just dwindling away, going to cover housing, transportation, food. So I'm all for it. Join it. Give yourself a timeline. Get in that ability to transfer as soon as you can transfer, and join the U.S. Tech Force, a new division that's being stood up that they'll actually train you for tech skills. So be strategic about it, but get in and get those jobs.
So let me ask you a question. When they weren't the immigration problem wasn't as much as it is. Maybe we weren't sending immigrants out. We weren't even having as much immigrants. I go back far, so maybe you don't go back.
I
Uh,
do. I'm in my mid
okay.
50s.
Okay, so when we weren't having as much of an immigration problem, we're paying taxes. How come where was our tax money with regards to our schools and our community centers and our streets and all of the things that
Well,
the
I'm in
white
Los
communities
Angeles,
got?
so I don't know of a time. I've been in Los Angeles for 25
Yeah,
years, so I don't know of a
yeah.
time when
Well,
it
I know.
wasn't an issue. It's just, it's more apparent now because of all the funding being cut. So those dollars might have stretched further when they were matched federally or by the state, but all of that is being cut. So
Yeah,
now
I'm just saying, where's the
U.S. Black
anger
American
and
communities
the
are now being impacted. The
why?
schools,
No, well, no, no,
in
no. Our
fact,
schools were
LAUSD
impacted.
is laying off teachers. They're making a decision on Monday, I believe, where to tomorrow.
Yeah, our schools
Who's
has
going to
always
get
been
laid off?
underserved and underwritten. I mean, not underwritten, but underserved and didn't have the
Where do you
budgets.
live?
I'm from Northern California, so I know
Where
LA
do you
quick. I
live?
used
I
to
didn't
live.
ask you where you're from. I asked you where
I'm
you're
from the
living
Bay
now.
Area. I'm from Palo Alto, East Palo Alto,
Where
California.
are
So
you
I'm quite
living now?
familiar.
Where are your dollars going now? That's what I'm asking. I'm not
Okay,
asking you
so
where you're from.
where are tax dollars going now? To me, it doesn't matter because when they weren't going
Why can't
where
you
they're
answer
going
where you're
now,
from?
our school. I just
Are you
said
in
I
a
was from
little
the Bay
polluted
Area.
town? Do you live
I
in the Bay?
said
I didn't ask you where you were from. It's a specific
I'm
question.
from the Bay Area. I was born in San Francisco
All
and raised in
right.
East Palo Alto,
I'll
California.
go.
You
I'll
asked
go
me
on
that,
mute.
and I told you 3 or 4 times where I was from.
No, no, no,
So, and I'm saying to you,
I think she's asking, do you live in the Bay Area now?
no, I don't live in the Bay Area right
Okay,
now.
thanks.
Yeah, but
My
so what? I
sentiments
lived there for
exactly.
40 years. I
You're
was in the
probably in a
Bay
point
Area
in
for 40
time
years,
where
and
number
it doesn't
saying these
matter
tax dollars will go
because I
around to
know that in
you.
1972, Jarvis and Gann, that bill that passed with those dudes, Jarvis and whatever his name was, that changed the distribution of money, the public monies and how it was being going to the schools and stuff back in the 70s when folks voted for that. White folks
Can
mainly.
I ask this, can I ask the sister
So,
a question,
but
please?
the point I'm gonna land with this. The point is that we can't jump up and down about our money's going to these immigrants and everything when our money when that wasn't the issues and the money wasn't going to our
We
communities
absolutely
anyway.
can when the federal matching dollars are not there. We absolutely can. So now
Yeah.
there's just one
You
pot.
can, but that doesn't add up because why weren't you complaining 30 years ago? Why weren't you complaining 40 years ago?
Because there were federal
Yeah.
matching dollars that went further.
But
Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
sister,
our
saying?
if
schools
you
were
as a
still messed up.
Oh my
Our
God.
schools and our
sister,
communities were
let
still
me ask the
messed
sister
up.
a question, please. Sister, if you were to be part of the ICE now, like you joined ICE, you became part of the, the ICE, an agent, right? Would you, do you agree that illegal immigrant that been in America, like some of the blacks, Latino, Hispanic that been there, abiding citizen, maybe been working illegally, but never had criminal record, never been to prison, they've been contributing to themselves and their family. Do you think these people should be granted amnesty?
Absolutely.
They
They
should
broke.
prioritize.
No, I don't think they
Yeah,
should be granted
yeah.
amnesty. They broke a lot,
Why
and
not?
in fact, in LA, they've had amnesty programs for years. Why didn't they go through those programs when they were in effect. Now the programs have dried up. Different leadership, different
Mm.
focus. So now the
I mean,
programs
for
aren't there. Why
someone
didn't they
that
do it back
someone that
then?
lived there and they have someone that lived there and have because the report that they find in the UK at one time, because the UK was so emphasizing deporting people, there was actually that's why this is where the European Convention law kicks in, right? Stop deporting parents with children out of the UK because those kids will end up committing crime in the street. They will be just as bad as the the local gangs that you have that's terrorizing the community and stuff like that. So they're probably going to join it. And it is the report that also came out in the UK. Most of these kids that are actually in the street causing crimes, their parents are actually either not there or always in doing like late shifts, part time jobs. Never or doing like long hour shifts. Never there for the kids. They don't know what the kids are up to. So don't you think that's counterproductive
No,
if someone
we
actually
can't
lives
reward
there?
complacency. We can't reward complacency with amnesty.
No, but
I can only
the
speak for
law.
my city.
Mm,
And in my
yeah.
city, there have been amnesty programs.
Mm.
I'm talking about organizations going
Mm.
around willing to help people who had a language barrier to go through the programs to get their paperwork in order. And people did not do it. So in my mind, that's complacency. We cannot reward complacency with amnesty. They've had
I
time.
don't think
The jig is up.
sometimes I think the answer, the decent answer I would expect from you is to deal with every case, as that comes in on based on their circumstances, right? So
No, we've
because
done
you
that. We've
cannot
done
you
that.
cannot
They've had
by just
amnesty
no
programs.
you okay, all right, okay. I think you're not being compassionate in that, but then I cannot attack you based on your personal thinking. That's your mindset,
I'm
and
sorry, brother. Do you live in
I'm
the United States? Do you live in the United States?
me.
He's
I
Canadian.
visited the US. I live in the UK. I don't live in the UK, but
Hey,
in
man.
America. I visit.
Look.
Yeah,
For years, we
yeah.
played that game where we pretty
Okay.
much try to accommodate people who don't want to assimilate into American culture, into the American way of life. We can't do that anymore. That costs too much taxpayer money. So,
Every
I
form you
mean,
can think of in California is
Hmm.
in like 8 or 12 languages. Like there is support. If you don't speak the language, there are people that can
Yeah,
help
yeah.
you
I agree with
translate
that.
people.
I agree.
We've just done too
I am talking
much.
about those that are integrated. I'm speaking to those that already speak English. They have integrated. They never committed a crime. They got kids there.
Africa, you have to understand, like in places like LA, you don't have to integrate.
You don't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So,
That make it
with the
clear.
one high school we had before they start busing our kids, a year or two before they start busing us, like in 70, probably 4, 73, and the busing started. When I came, it was 2 years when I came into high school. I came into high school in 76. So 2 years before that, they closed our high school down, and the black kids at our one high school start, demonstrating and complaining because what they tried to do is fix up the high school for the white kids to be bused into the one black school. So they had to bus white kids into our community. And so they start fixing up the high school. And the kids there was like, why are you fixing up the school now? Because white kids are coming here. How come you didn't fix the school up when we. So that was a big thing. So what they ended up doing, I think they did 1 year where they bust white kids into the black neighborhood into East Palo Alto, and then they closed our one high school down. So all of this talk about the immigrants and they taking our tax money is some bullshit because
Right.
when I look at our schools and I
Well,
look at our
why don't you
streets and all
open
the
your
stuff that
home
we
and
had,
bring one of
we've
them in
always
and
been
allow them to live
underserved. We've
with you?
always been
If it's
underserved
BS.
with tax services and all this shit
Open
because
your home and allow them to live with you and
they already
see how
did.
much it would impact you. See how
What
much
they did
providing
impact us,
food,
so they
shelter would
impacted
be
us.
in your own home.
Well,
And
what
then
they
come
did,
back and
what
talk
what
to
what
us.
happened in our community is that they
Your
gentrified. Well, I
Moses,
don't say gentrified.
you
Yes.
got to speak
They
about
displaced
the
us. The
you
Mexicans
got to speak
displaced
about the
us. We were
17
80%
million
African
stolen
American.
Social
We
Security
were
numbers.
80.
They
We were
just
eighty
closed
percent African
a homeless
American,
shelter
and
here
now we're
yesterday.
10%. Now we're 10% African American. We were 80% and mostly Mexican. We have
Open
some
your
Pacific
home
Islanders.
and provide free shelter, free food for any immigrant that you believe will be picked up by
Why?
ICE, and
Why
then
would
come
I?
talk to us.
What does that have to do with what the point I'm
The
making? You're
same
talking
thing it
about
has to
your
do with the
tax
point that
money.
I'm making
You're talking about
about
the
Bringing a
tax money
taxation.
and
lawsuit.
where your
That's
money's
real
going, and I'm
dollars.
saying that your tax money hasn't been going to the places
And
you want it to go in a long time
and
for a
and
long time.
And also in Sierra
design.
Leone, when the migration to America was quite low, I remember we had different programs. Some of them were churches programs, some of them were the Gola Geechee people, because they do have a carnival in Freetown every year, just like the Afro Caribbean Festival happening there. They used to have a program, helping Black Sierra Leoneans to migrate to America, through sponsorship. So it's a big shift for me to hear African Americans who are very hard in immigration, but it doesn't surprise me based on their personal experience of other migrants coming in and minimizing their issues, and making them more, making the issue, water down their problems. But, however, also in terms of voting bloc, if you have more Africans who align with
But
you
they
and
don't.
integrate to your society,
But they
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
But the real
yeah. So,
issue is, what
so
are we as 50
yeah,
million African Americans
uh,
going to do
yeah,
for ourselves?
yeah,
That's the real question. What are we
yeah,
doing for our
yeah.
40, 50 million self? We're not doing what we're supposed to
Right.
be doing as a people. And so now
Definitely.
we're putting it on the immigrants and the government instead of ourselves.
I'm
Well, it
not
should be the
blaming anything
government.
on. I'm not blaming them on any situation that we find ourselves in. But you can't
All
tell
I'm
me that
saying
it
is,
is not impacting us from a financial perspective. Listen, they just closed the
Mm.
housing shelter, homeless shelter here yesterday. So we didn't have where the immigrants were coming across and getting in the hotels. We had them where they were being
Okay.
put in homeless shelters. So now they've closed one yesterday, and I think about four of them are by the end of February. They're going to close more. So that means that now veterans and other black men who have been homeless would now be scrambling for a place to live against immigrants who never worked a day in their life here, who didn't pay into any kind of system, who didn't serve the country. So it's time to get them out of the way, deport them back to their countries, and all that knowledge and experience that they've learned here all those years that they decided not to do it legally, they can take that back and build their countries.
And it's time for you and your communities to start working on the problems of unemployment and homelessness that we
yeah,
need to
yeah,
be
we can we,
doing.
Because
we can do
I
that.
do.
We can
I
Yeah,
do that.
no,
But
we
absolutely
but
do.
but but
could.
here's the
No,
I
we
thing,
should
brother.
have been
absolutely
doing
do.
Here's the
that.
thing, brother.
I
We
do.
Here's the
should have
thing,
been
brother.
doing that.
Here's the
I
thing,
do.
brother.
I
A
teach
lot a
tech
lot of
and
a lot of
AI
us a lot of
awareness.
our
I do.
people can help ourselves by joining ICE. ICE is paying up to $60,000 in student loan debt, and that's a problem that's been plaguing our black community.
No.
Is student loan debt, and we can free ourselves from debt,
Well, you
and
know
we
what we
you can
did?
we can use that money to start businesses,
Right.
then
What
we
we
can be very
did is we
productive.
created our own
So this is
schools.
an opportunity for
No,
us.
Right.
opportunity was a long time
It's an
ago, and it's
opportunity
still
for us, brother.
available. And it's not
So
joining
what are
ICE
you
or the
doing?
police
What are
department.
you doing to build up the community in
I
spite of
come from a
immigrants
Yeah, what do
community.
you
in
I
do?
our
come
area?
from a
That's a good question.
community where we controlled our education from kindergarten to college. It was
I'm
called
asking
Nairobi
today,
Schools.
not
I'm
four
saying
score and seven
today,
years ago. I'm asking
no,
today.
that
What are you
was
doing
like
today?
40 something years ago.
Because if
Today,
you
what
aren't
I'm
doing anything, you could open your home to one of those immigrants that is running.
to be honest with you, I have helped some folks to, as a little place for a couple of months. Yeah, some brothers, some African brothers that needed a space for a little bit. And 3 or 4 months, that's what I could do. And it was a help. So yeah, that did that little bit. But I mean, I've spent my whole life dedicated to my community. I went to school and
Right.
spent money on my college degree, dedicated to solving
Right.
problems in my community. That's why I can talk shit, because I walk the walk and talk the talk
Oh,
and
so
come
have
from a
I. So
community.
have I. And
Right.
that's why
And
I
so
know.
then,
I
so
know
then
the
why,
impact. I
so
see them
then,
every day.
so you know
Because
the
I'm actually
impact.
aligned to the
Then why
LAUSD
is your
here.
solution that we should be joining ICE and getting work concentrating
Because
on the immigrants instead of
350,000
concentrating on
black
ourselves?
women were laid off. Because 350,000 black women were laid off and they need jobs. We won't even count the number of black men who can't get hired. So this is an opportunity.
Right. Well, I look at it from, not just today. Everything didn't just start today, but it's exacerbated by the politics of today. I would say, yes, I agree with that. And the immigrant situation does make it worse too.
Hey,
But
Sean. Hey,
again,
Sean. Can I ask you a question?
right.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, since y'all in California, how many job applications require someone to be bilingual, or it says Spanish preferred? That's a
How
I
good
many
don't know,
question.
and
job
I'll look it up, but I'll say
how
from a
many
gut,
job
one in
applications
three, I
required?
would say
I don't understand the
preferred,
question.
meaning you need to be Spanish speaking bilingual. So that's a
Oh,
requirement listed on
oh,
the.
okay. Well,
I
I
would
would
say
That
imagine
one.
already
so.
It
eliminates a
depends on
lot of
the
African
industry.
Americans.
Yeah, it depends on the industry, but I would say one
That
or two.
already eliminates African Americans right there.
The,
A lot
my
of African
my
Americans.
only yeah, my only advice
Yeah.
to people
So it's an
who
issue.
are
I'm
supporting,
not
yeah,
unsympathetic to anyone's
yeah,
struggle. Listen,
yeah, yeah.
I have several uh, uh, people of diverse backgrounds in my immediate circle, but it's
Okay.
got to end. It's got to end.
Yeah.
You know
Are
what
you
I
more?
find insulting? You know what I find insulting? When you apply for a construction job and it says bilingual on it in America. This is our country.
Right,
Like
right.
at the end of the
So it's
day,
your
that should not
country.
even be allowed. That should be illegal.
So if it's your country, then you should be treating you fairly, and you shouldn't be having the struggles that you do because the country marginalizes you and does all the shit that it does to you. If it's your country,
Me
Well, why are
necessarily,
you
I
still
don't
here?
struggle. But what I'm saying is we can struggle or we can suffer on the back end because there's other people benefiting who aren't a part of the system, who didn't build the system, who never assimilated into our system. That's a problem.
but you
That's
shouldn't be
all I'm saying.
struggling, and you shouldn't have to do shit on the back end if it's your country and your ancestors built it. Because a lot of folks who say that say my ancestors built this country.
See, I don't know if
My
there are many
my
cities
ancestors were
like
forced
LA
to
where
build
So,
you
this
come
country.
over
so
and you
what
drop a
would you say?
baby,
What would you do
and you
if a
get what's
Liberian?
called general relief.
What would you
So that's
do?
cash
Sorry, sis. What
benefits
would you
on
do to a
top of any
Liberian or Sierra
housing,
Leonean?
on top of any food stamp and medical. I'm not sure, however, how many other sanctuary cities this happens in, but it hits our community hard when
Well,
this
guess what?
money.
The shit that Donald Trump is doing is starting to kick in, and it's going to get worse because of all of those quote entitlements that poor people have, social benefits. He's cutting those, and if you
Yeah.
voted for him, yeah, it's not good. In fact, they're talking about somebody had I saw on Instagram that in Florida they're starting to Medicaid or Medicare, one or two, is starting to not deny people HIV medication.
Right. What Shah just
So,
said,
and
it
this
kind of
is
rings
just
a
the
bell.
beginning.
Shah,
Yeah,
Shah, what you
okay.
just said,
Well,
it
they're
kind
also
of,
getting
can you
them
hear
on
This
the
me?
is the
Section
Can you
8
guys,
president
state
that you voted
process, so our
for.
community, our
This
elderly
is
can
population,
anyone
we
hear
don't know
me?
who I voted for or if I voted at all. So let's not make
Okay.
assumptions.
Shah,
Because I have a
not.
view
I'm
one
not talking
way,
about you.
don't try to make assumptions around the.
I meant the MAGA
Shah,
people in here.
Got it. Okay.
Shah,
Yeah, so a
Shah,
lot
this
of
is
programs are
when,
being
okay.
cut, and that's what I'm talking about. I talked about that homeless shelter that's closing.
But that's Donald Trump doing that. His administration is doing that.
Yeah, which is putting an impact on our community.
Yeah, but that doesn't. If the Democrats were in office, they wouldn't have been doing that though.
Well, I don't know because we're in a different position
Can I,
because the Olympics is coming
can
here
I give you a good
in
example, sister?
2028.
Yeah. In the
So
UK,
a lot of
in the
things are being
UK,
done to beautify the city, to whitewash the city. So
mm,
everything is location based, in my opinion, and so you can't really, paint
It's
everything with the same
this is a
brush around the U.S.
but because we're in a different place right now, this is a changing of the guard. This is a new way of that these folks are moving. They're moving like this
mm,
geopolitically, and they're moving like this nationally or domestically, in which they're like,
right,
we ain't got nothing for you. We
Yeah, I
have
don't think
nothing
right.
it'll
for
go
you.
back
The,
if
I
Democrats
am
get in
happy with
tomorrow.
you,
I
Shah.
don't think
I'm
they're
happy
rolling
with you,
anything
Shah.
back.
But
That's happening
what I'm
now.
gonna
I
say is
think this
right in the
is the
UK.
course forward. And
Yeah,
so
sorry to
my
interrupt you,
take
sis.
on it is if there's an opportunity for our community to take, we need to be at the forefront, lined up early. Take it, have a strategic plan, move on. Don't think you're going to get in ICE and stay there 30 years. You get in there and you have a plan and you move forward.
Pay down your debt. If you get an ICE, pay down your debt. If you got student loans, pay down your student loan
To
debt.
me, it's like joining
That's
a
that's like
police.
a 40 acres and a mule type
It's
of deal,
like being
man.
a policeman. Is joining ICE is like being a policeman
Well, I
to
think we
me.
need more
So
black
what?
police. I think
So
we need
what if
more
Yeah,
it's a
black
policeman?
police in
I
our
don't,
community. I think
because
what's happening in our community, especially with the sheriff gangs here, we definitely need more blacks
well,
in all
the
forms
more
of law
blacks that
enforcement.
we have has not made a quality change in how it treat at the end of the day how we're being treated as a people when we get stopped by the police and we get what do they call that tagged or There's where profiled by the
Profile.
police.
Yeah.
We get profiled by the police. We got more black people. We got black people ending up acting like the white police. So
Well,
it's
I've
not
never
making
been
a
pulled
quality
over by a
change.
black police. The few times I've
Okay,
been
well,
pulled over, I
that's
haven't
Can
had
I
the
say
anecdotal.
police.
something?
They've always been
That's an
Can I say
individual thing.
something?
That's anecdotal.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Can I
but
ask you a question?
pertinent. So
Can I
again,
ask you a
things are
question, sis?
location based. We can't, use this broad brush to say what's going to fix what where. But on a national scale, if ICE is in your community and is hiring, I'm for it. I'll go on mute.
Right.
Take
Do you
that,
know? Can
John.
I say one thing? Right. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask.
Yeah. Thank you. Um, in the UK, the problem we have here years ago, the people who voted the Conservative government, they voted based on emotions and they voted based on xenophobic mindset. And these people were two groups. Okay, the white working class who used to vote,
Did we lose
you
ICE?
know, in the middle, and basically went to the right, and they thought by actually siding with the right, they're going to benefit more, right? Because the reality is, what they did is they voted conservative government, thinking, oh, these immigrants are coming in, they're taking all our benefit, they're taking our houses, they're taking this, they're taking that, right? And then they voted the conservative government. And when this conservative government came into power, what they did was they took benefit and they took all the goodies from everybody anyway. So all these people are complaining about the foreigners coming in. They're the one that's suffering in the UK today, just as much as the foreigner. So when we get to emotions about important topic
Did
like
we
this,
lose ICE?
and
Can
we
you guys
make
hear me?
yeah, and we make the wrong choices, and it's going to affect us all. This is why I'm a little bit with Shah, where he's actually trying to make you see what's going on here. That's the reason why I agree African Americans should join ICE to be there, to be part of the system. And I think that's one of the reasons why this government is actually not including you guys at the first place, because they don't want you to see the decision making of their government and the bad intent or good intent of it until it's too late for you guys. So it's better to be in it than not, so you can see what's going on and what decision they're making based on why they're making these decisions.
So what are
But
you saying?
to
You're
vote,
saying that we should be in ICE because then we can see the moves that they're making because we're on the inside? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that's partly, yeah. I think you should
Well,
do that
we have a
because,
lot of us in the military now. We have a lot of us in the politics. There's a lot of black
hmm
political representation, but the quality of
hmm
black folks is not better. It's getting worse. And by the year 20 something, we're supposed to be at zero worth. And so the fact that we participate in the political system, that we have black policemen and black, everything, that it doesn't change our condition because that system is set up to serve them, not us. And instead of us working together and building our own wealth in our communities, controlling our
right.
education, and then controlling our
hmm
local politics as much as we can, we don't do
hmm
that. We don't do that.
That's the reason why I'm in the
Let
middle,
me
and that's
if
the
I
reason
could
why I'm
get
in the
in
middle
on
in this.
this,
To say.
if I
Yeah,
could get
Okay.
in
Africa,
on this.
Africa.
No, no, no,
The
no, no,
Yes,
reason
sir.
no,
why,
no, 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 no. Hold on, hold on. Let me pass it to General Indama. Go ahead, General. Then after that is Wall Street
All
Willie.
right, so I'll say this. First of all, everything that this guy's saying, none of it makes sense. It's just babble. It's just him basically just saying that
Who is this guy, please? Who is this guy?
the gentleman who's saying that who's making the argument that black Americans should not be joining ICE. And the
No,
thing
what's my
is this.
argument though? Why? What's my argument why we shouldn't?
Well,
Okay, I'll explain.
let him finish.
I'll explain. The thing is this: is that black Americans have been suffering under these sanctuary city policies for decades. They've had their tax dollars stolen by illegal aliens under sanctuary city policies for decades. And so now that you have an administration that's actually attacking that issue, you're basically telling them that they should not. You're basically telling them that they're crazy. You're telling them that they're saying that black Americans are saying that they're suffering, that they're in pain, and you're telling them that they're not suffering, that they're not
No,
in pain,
I've never said
that
that.
what they're experiencing is an illusion.
I've never
That
said
you know
that.
what I mean. And it's absolutely insane that
But
you
I
would
didn't
come up
say that
here
though.
and
Never.
say those types of
I never
things.
said no one was
And
insane
so
ever.
when black people come to you and they say,
Wait.
"Hey,
Why are you saying I said that?
I personally, I didn't get that from
when
him.
black
Yeah,
people
why
What
are
you
come
you
are
to you,
saying I
saying,
said that though?
okay, and
yeah,
they
what
say,
you're saying, I didn't get that from him.
and when they say I'm suffering from this issue or I'm having this problem, and you basically sit there and tell them you're not having an issue, you're not having a problem, you're hallucinating. It's not real. It's you know what I mean. It's extremely insulting to
Can
people's
I ask you a
intelligence.
quick question, sir?
So so
Um,
so
can
for
I
for,
ask you
for
a
you
quick
to get
question,
up here
please?
and do that is insane. So I'll land right there.
All right, let me ask you a quick question. Because I'm
Let
listening.
me
I'm
speak some
listening.
of
I've
the
been listening.
impacts
I've
of the
been quite
policy
quiet.
are actually
Please be
being felt
quiet.
now.
Please be
I
quiet.
saw a
I'm
quick
asking a
blurb
question.
on yesterday that
My guy who
deaths
just
are
spoke.
reducing in LA.
Madam, can
That
you be
never
quiet?
happened.
She needs to mute her mic because she's talking and she needs to mute her mic.
I've been listening and trying to understand the demographics of what's going on here.
That's not me.
Can you please let me know the benefit? Because I'm quite puzzled. What is the benefit to Black America through joining ICE? Can you give me the benefit? Because I don't understand.
Okay, okay, I'll give you the benefit. Okay,
I could answer that. Employment, matching 401k,
What is that?
benefit,
What is
healthcare,
matching
health.
401k? Yeah, you. Sorry, I'm not an American. So you please
I mean,
explain.
putting your self in position to feed your family. I think they also help with if
So
you have any student loans.
individual reasons, not group reasons.
No. Okay, so Joe
Exactly.
no, Joe you ignore the part where I said help put you in a position to feed your families.
Well, that's
It's a
still
yeah, but
job.
quite individual.
well,
That's
see,
still quite
here's the
individual.
thing, Dynas.
Even though you're talking about
How does
Dynas.
family.
that
Wait,
not
He's
please,
matter?
saying it's
please.
a
I'm trying
job.
to
Here's the thing,
understand.
Will we
Dynas.
go to
Please,
you
Guys
please.
like
or Free
him
Willy was
don't
next?
want guys like him
And I
don't think it's
and I'll
important
address
for black
all
people to
these
be able to feed
questions.
their family.
It's a
It's
He
very
job.
funny
says
the
ought
way
to
Basically,
be
you just jump
homeless
on
it's a
things.
job.
I'm
and ought to
trying
be
to understand.
begging
Hey,
I'm
Hey,
leftists,
trying.
brother. Hey,
for
Excuse
brother.
me.
help.
Hold on.
I
What's wrong with
Jagu,
everybody?
You're not trying to understand because I
No,
literally
I
I
am.
hope
That's why I'm
Jagoon
asking the
understands.
question.
Jagu. It's a job that puts you in position to feed your family. How can you not
Okay.
understand
I
So,
hope
so
Jagoon
what I put to
understands.
you,
It's a
please,
job.
wait and stop
Jagoon,
jumping.
Jagoon.
Wait,
Let me explain.
wait, please.
Hold on,
I'm wait,
because
No,
no,
Willie,
wait,
let
please,
him finish, Willie.
please.
I was supposed to be next
Yeah, you're
at
Let
right.
the
me, let me.
Let
last
him
I'm
finish.
moment.
Let him
asking
finish so you
questions
can
for the.
go.
I'm
Go ahead.
asking questions for the point of understanding. I'm in there outside looking in and I'm listening to you guys. I haven't spoken for a while. I'm trying to understand. And you're telling me that because you can get a job from ICE, that is the benefit to black people generally. I'm asking about black people as a whole in America.
Got you.
What is the
Got you.
benefit? You see, I wish you guys, instead of jumping on people for no
Can I
reason,
explain
No,
real
no,
quick?
no, no. Let me let
you
me
guys,
answer.
man,
Hold on.
you're baffled in the way
Jagoon.
Let
you
me answer.
communicate.
Jagoon.
hold on one mic, Jagun. Okay, if you have a black family that's stable, okay, that is a positive impact on Black America as
I
a whole. How do you not
disagree.
understand that?
Okay, fair enough. I like the way you put
I
that. And I
disagree.
How do you
please.
disagree?
Let me just go through this. I like
Jagoon,
the way
come
you
on,
put
man.
that.
You'll understand once I speak. I promise you. Right?
Okay, let me just speak to
So,
that in a moment. I
God,
understand what you just said, and I agree with you that employment is good
now you're
for
wrong too.
stability. Wait for stability, for being able to rear a family, and the rest of it.
Yeah.
That
All
is a
right,
good.
so cool. Let's start with some
No,
facts.
stop interrupting me.
Yo, bro, you're wrong,
Wait,
and you're asking a
let me just
question.
finish.
Willie, let
Let
him
Listen,
me
finish.
don't let me shout. I don't
Willie,
want to
let him
shout.
you've
finish.
been let me finish for the
He
I
last
don't
don't
get
want
five
it
to
though.
minutes.
shout,
He
my
don't
I
get
friend.
it.
understand this question.
Oh, what's wrong
I
with
think
everybody, man?
I think
What's
with a bit
wrong?
of
What
I
is
think with
Willie,
a
wrong?
you're going next, Willie. You're
You only
I
going
looking
think
at
next.
it
with a
from a
bit of
British perspective, dog.
good.
Let
You're
me
going
just
next,
Good,
Willie.
understand
good,
you
good,
people,
good,
man.
good.
Listen. What I'm trying to put to you is that whilst that is good for an individual, for a family, and stability is a great thing, I'm still trying to appreciate for the Black American moving forward as a not a monolith, but as a group who have an economy that is not necessarily benefiting them. How does this one employment for individual's sake that may be propagating a white agenda, if you like? I say may, I don't know.
Got it.
Maybe propagating a white agenda
It is.
against the black development of their own economy within America. I'm trying to appreciate the fact that we're in a world where all
Hold on, Dragoon. You don't have to be. You don't have to be long winded. It's easy.
Come
The
on.
reason. Listen, when I get my check on Friday, my direct deposit, I have to make the conscious decision to circulate it within my own community. If you don't do that, then that's the problem. But with working for ICE, when you get your paycheck on Friday, you now have the means to circulate that money within your own community.
And
Got you.
Jagun is saying
Now,
all money's not good
real
money.
quick,
that's
I'm
Jagun
gonna
interesting.
saying all
explain
money's not good
Jagun.
money.
Jagun, I'm gonna explain to you why Dynas is wrong, right? And in order to do that, we have to deal with some facts, right? The reality is, if every single ICE officer was black, no, that wouldn't be an economic benefit to our community in any way. Would you like to know why? There are over 13 million, I think, black people here in America, or something like, is it 40? I can't remember, right? There are
47
22,000,
million. 47 million.
47, right? 13% or something, right? But 47 million, right? There are 22 ICE officers in total, 22,000, right? If all of them were black, no, it wouldn't have this economic benefit outside of some of the detriment that it could bring our community. I say on both sides, I'm telling my black American people to stay out of it, right? One, because to your other part of your question, yes, this is a white man's fight. This isn't immigration isn't a thing that drastically
Willie,
affects
if I can,
our community. I'm gonna keep it short.
Willie, if I can interject real quick. So
Good.
should black people join the military or local police force?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
The
Wha-
joined the
reason the
military.
reason is, right,
So
it's
so
outside of just
how was
let
joining
me answer.
how was joining the military not the, in quotation mark, white man's agenda?
Oh, for
one
me,
one joining the military, right, is affecting America as a whole. I am still an American citizen, so I want to secure certain American safeties and advantages, even, right? That's what the military does, right? If you're talking about the police, I believe we need more black police in black communities so they understand black children and black men they interact with. So we'll have less. I feared for my life and I shot him 47 times, right? Shout out to Amadou Diallo, right? But even with ICE, me as a Pan African, right? You're not seeing these ICE raids where my Pan African people are, right? In Harlem, we have a little synagogue. You know what you'll never see in Harlem? An ICE agent, right? I don't think they're running down on all the Nigerians in Houston, right? So even me caring about my black immigrants, right? Minneapolis ain't my fight, right? Like that's something totally separate
Man,
from the issues.
Willie, you're just
Yeah.
I don't know what you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah,
I don't.
you said
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
were going to actually
I'm
impress
saying on
me with
both
your
sides,
answer.
blacks need to
Your
stay out
answer
of it.
isn't very impressive.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But Willie, I don't know what you
He
Well,
just.
I
I don't
started
didn't
know.
even
out
What
good
finish.
though. He
Well,
started
I
out
didn't
Yeah,
even
he
good.
did. He did. I
finish.
was listening.
I didn't
But
even
I
Yeah,
mean,
finish.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Willie.
for all
I'm
his
saying
pushiness,
there's
No,
it's
but
only
context.
the same
let him
man.
land. Let him land.
Jagon, hear what
Let
I'm
him land. Though.
saying?
Let him land.
Jagon,
Let him
there's
land.
context to it, right? So even if we were talking about the money and the family and blah blah, there's 22,000 ICE agents. That's a drop in the bucket if they were all black, which they will never be. We'll get 5 to 10% tops. So no, that aspect of it isn't a benefit, right? Protesting against it. That's not a benefit. You want to know why? Because the main places where it's being challenged mainly deal with Mexicans. But even if you look at Minneapolis and it deals with the Somalis, guess what? In this whole Somali scam, they don't live in a bubble on their own. In their communities, guess who else is there? Black people, right? So they were robbing us too, right? Let ICE do what they doing. We don't have a dog in that fight on either side. I say this is a great, and I'll land here. I say this is a great time for Black Americans to put our heads down and move forward, strictly on things that benefit us. If you want to protest something, I can run down a laundry list of Black people who have been killed by the police, right, in the last 6 months alone. A laundry list. So I don't say don't protest that, right? This shit going on in Minneapolis, this is not our fight. So let them do what they're doing.
Hey,
Baragani, and I'll land there to my next
hey,
rant.
hey, Donis, can I ask Jagoon a question?
Go ahead.
Hey, so Jagoon, you live in the UK, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you get universal health care and universal dental?
We if you're unemployed, you'll get universal dental. If you're employed, you will have to pay for that. But generally, the NHS, which is National Health Service, satisfies the whole population of the UK by making sure you can get care on face to face point. So whoever
Okay.
you are, if you go to the hospital, you're getting care without being asked for a check.
Okay. So you said that's very rare. So here in the United States, if you don't work a job, you don't get no health care, no dental work. Okay.
Yep,
So
yep.
now, if you do
That's
work a
not
job,
true. That's
no, for the most part, no, you don't. You know, if you don't
you
work, you
can
don't get
get
it.
you can get free dental if you don't have a job, and you can get free medical if you don't have a job in the United States. What are you talking about?
It's called Medicaid. Medicaid.
But you gotta apply for it. You gotta stand in line for it. You gotta fill out several pieces of paperwork for it. You gotta make,
Hell, that's
you
such
know,
a
you gotta
hard thing to
prove
do
how
to
you can
get
be on it.
your medical and dental. That's such a big thing. Come on,
Okay,
bro.
so now let's talk about the jobs, right? Let's talk about the jobs in this healthcare. If you work in the private sector, most of the time, you know, you're gonna have to have some of that deducted out of your check. If something actually happens to you, um, and you need a comprehensive treatment, you have to pay a portion of that
Correct.
comprehensive treatment. So if you're getting knee surgery and it costs $20,000, you got to come up with $2,000 right off the bat.
Mm.
The
Depending on
company
your
might
health
pay the
care.
rest of the 18,000. But now if you work for ICE and you're on their health care just like the military, guess what? It's covered by the government, all of it.
Mm.
So that's the
Yes, and
difference in the United States.
and all 200 black people that work for ICE will be covered. But again, that's only 200 people.
But
Now,
that's a big
just
deal, dog.
one bigger thing I wanted to speak to, right? This idea that immigrants are taking money that would be going to black communities. I want to make it clear, right? Even when this whole thing went down under Biden, what the American government did was stepped over a homeless black man, right? Took care of these Mexicans in cities like Philly, cities like New York. And guess what? If it all gets shut down, you know what they're going to do? They're going to take that money back, step over that same homeless black man, and go back to their business. This idea that if we stop this money that's going to immigrants, it'll benefit our community, that is a farce.
Thank you.
And I'll land
Very
there.
All right,
true.
all right.
I'll
First
land there.
off, let me address Willie. Now, I understand that the political viewpoint that Willie coming from that left of center viewpoint. But the thing is that as someone who used to live in California, I saw how for decades the sanctuary city policies affected the black community. Okay, I saw a young black woman who lived in who rented an apartment in East Los Angeles get murdered because she unknowingly moved into a neighborhood that was controlled by illegal alien gang members, and they murdered her because she was black. Okay, and so
Mhm.
with the thing is, and also he talked about how ICE isn't running down the Nigerians in Houston. Well, ICE is only being deployed to blue states that have sanctuary city policies
Now,
and
why?
that are but I'm not done, brother.
Now, I know, but I'm just
I'm
asking you
not done,
why.
Willie. I'm not done, Willie. And that are
I'll tell you why.
non-compliant with the administration's immigration policy. So that is what is going on. So absolutely, ICE is, they're going to be deployed to places like Minnesota where you had all that fraud, where the governor there is complicit in it. They're going to be deployed to places like that. Okay, because that is where they are most needed and where they will have the most effect. So I'll land right there.
So, to your point of me being left of center, right? I consider myself an independent, right? Neither side in this duopoly is focused on things that would benefit me, right? The Democrats aren't really trying to sell me anything for my people. And I got a news flash for you. If you support MAGA, right, and you were black and you wore that hat, well, guess what? There's not a single bad hairline in Trump's whole administration. Not one. Not a single black person that wore that MAGA hat and represented this mantle, right, benefited anything from it. Tim Scott is probably the greatest. Tim Scott deserves a lifetime achievement award in cooning, right? He didn't even get a spot, but Linda McMahon did. So if you think you have a place in that party, you're sadly mistaken. So no, I'm not left of center, right? Because once you go left of center, you start defending the rainbow community and all of that. I'm fairly center, independent, right? What benefits my people is what I vote for. And so when it comes to this issue, right? Yes, like you made a good point. The reason why the sanctuary cities are a problem is because democratic cities are saying, right, we are not going to work with the federal government in terms of deportation policies. That's problematic. That's how you get troops sent in your city. Because the argument becomes if you're not going to do it, then we got to come in there and do it for you. So I think we should look at the policies that we, and when I say we, as black people, I mean Democrats, right, support. And some of these situations are putting us in a bind. Like I'll even land here, right? With the
Can I
whole
come
Don,
in real quick?
and I'm gonna land right here. Hold on, I'm gonna land 2 seconds with the whole
Yeah.
Don Lemon thing, right? You hear all these liberals and leftists and a lot of black people saying, oh, Don Lemon was protected as the press and whatnot, right? And he shouldn't have been charged. Well, guess what, right? If you set that precedent, then when Tucker Carlson shows up at Ebenezer Baptist Church with 1,000 crackers, right? You've set that precedent that no, he's protected because he's just the press. I look at the press and I see a lot of racists over there. So I'm not giving them any room to violate the FACE Act or the Klan Act or anything else. Don Lemon got to eat that L. So pause. So Democrats have to start moving differently, and blacks have to start utilizing our vote different. If we're not gaining anything from either party, then we're not losing anything by supporting an independent candidate who, at this point, isn't going to win. And I'll end there.
Okay, very good. Now, guys, in my listening, since I've been on for about an hour, for before I came on, I'm rather worried about the way black people generally, globally, look at politics. The way in the West, in Europe and in America, it seems to me, the way black people look at politics is as if they are included. You see, my understanding is that we're only included when we include ourselves. And we normally include ourselves in times of trouble, worry, or some kind of oppression
Crisis.
towards us. And I think that this engagement in politics is positive. I think sometimes when we get involved in the level of politics, left and right or center, conservative and democratic, this kind of way of looking at it, I think this is spoon fed. I think if we bite this spoon fed politics that they offer us, it's bad medicine. We need always to be standing away from the politics that is being given to us and be able to really look at it for what it is and understand that this left and right business is so complicated and confusing that they are basically two sides of the same coin. Now, I know this may seem like rhetoric, but there are two sides of the same coin that is not looking to serve us as a community of people globally. The
Agree.
politics that we have to understand is that we globally are oppressed. So what we get involved with has to be lifting us all up as a individual status. Now, whilst the individual is very important, I grew up in a well, I understand the sovereignty of what it is to be an individual. And what it is to be an individual, I'm afraid, where I am from an Afrocentric point of view, the individual matters not.
Right.
And we've got to start understanding what the group effect is and how we play that politics for our
Right.
self preservation.
And Jagun, that's the
I
whole thing of
totally with you,
knowing
bro. On
Uh,
that, I agree
can
with
I?
you 100%.
Yeah, I agree
Yes, go on.
completely. And I think that as you were saying, I was thinking the same thing, which is that we have to see the big picture, which is what is the overall purpose of this society. It is capitalism, and it is also by way of going into other places and taking their stuff. This is the history of capitalism, is to produce goods and control labor and control land and control production. The people that are controlling it is not everybody. There's only a select few that are controlling it, and everybody else is being exploited by it. So if you understand that principle of the system that you live in, now you can begin to understand the bigger picture. By the way, sanctuary cities didn't start till 1982. San Francisco, California was the first sanctuary city in the United States. And guess what our communities looked like prior to 1982? They were not looking good. They were not beautifully pristine and all of that in the 70s. They were gentrified, they were downtrodden. And so the sanctuary city being a big point of contention is some bullshit because we've always been struggling.
That's a lie because and I can address that because and it's interesting that he brings that up because the Jonestown massacre happened, I believe, in the late 1970s as well. Many of the followers of Jim Jones
We're black.
who committed the mass suicide in Guyana in the late 1970s.
We're black.
Many of them were from San Francisco,
What does that have to do with
and Jim Jones got those people to sell their property in order to join his organization. Now that was the requirement.
what
You
does
have
that
to
have to
sell
do with sanctuary cities
your
though?
property. So this idea, and so a lot of those nice famous homes that you see in San
The
Francisco.
Victorians of the Fillmore. Yep.
Yeah, the Victor. A lot of that was owned by black people. Black
Yeah.
people lived in a lot of those
Yes.
homes.
And
And
so
like I said,
connect this to sanctuary
you
city
have
though.
Jim Jones, who was a leftist. He was a
What does
liberal,
that have to do
and
with sanctuary
he got
cities?
black people to relinquish their property. So it's just another cycle of liberals coming in
Tie that
and
in to
and
sanctuary cities.
putting black people in supporting sanctuary cities
So
and
you're
putting black
saying
people
because of Jim
in a
Jones and
economically disadvantageous position
so you're saying
over and
because
over
of what
again.
happened with Jim Jones and that situation that
Yeah,
it started sanctuary
and
cities or it would justify sanctuary city? What are you
yeah,
saying
we
about it?
had wonderful neighborhoods,
You're
okay, in
not
the
making a connection, brother.
1950s,
No, no, I
1960s,
was around in the
1970s.
1970s. I was a
Okay,
kid in the
for him to
70s.
say that
And I'm telling you
we've
that
just always
Fillmore,
been poor,
San
we've just
Francisco,
always had
Fillmore
nothing,
district,
we just always been downtrodden.
sir,
That's a
no,
lie.
what I'm
No,
saying
you
about
sitting
this.
here lying. I'm not
Okay,
gonna let
well,
you lie.
I was a kid. I was a young 10, 12-year old. I remember my mother taking us to the Fillmore where she grew up as a little girl in the 30s. And Fillmore was starting to be boarded up. It was not like it was when she was a kid. When she was a kid in the 40s and the 50s, when she was a kid in San Francisco, it was black people that owned businesses. They the area
So you
was
just
nice.
contradicted
It was
yourself.
no. I'm saying that it became gentrified. It became
No,
messed up before it
you
was a
just
sanctuary city.
contradicted yourself right
But I'm
there.
saying that the sanctuary city didn't start till 1982, and in
Yeah,
1970 is not
he just
1982.
contradicted his own point.
Okay, so
But wait, let's not
you're
go
not
too far.
listening.
Real
You're
quick,
not listening.
real
I'm
quick, real
saying
quick, because
this
y'all are
the
running the stop sign. I just wanted to respond to you
wait
real
wait.
quick, right?
Let me say
To
this.
the
So
politics. Hold on, bro. You went. Just let me deal with the politics of it,
Can
right?
I go, Diners? I just got on.
To to
Well, after
Jargon
Willie, you next, Skywalker. Go ahead.
to Jargon's point, right, that we shouldn't be involved on politics on either side. I don't agree with that either, right? Because when it comes to certain issues, right, the Democratic Party is typically either doing something that would benefit us or at least play defense, right? Now, they're not offering us the real solutions that we need. But when you deal with something like the argument of two wings of the same bird, yeah, being tough on crime, Democrats, Republicans, they're both down to do that. But when you're talking about police reform, when you're talking about body cams, when you're talking about actually being able to prosecute police who do these horrible things, right? And the other side's argument of trying to give them immunity, right? There is some benefit to the Democratic Party to blacks in America. We have a very, complex issue where we stand in our politics. But I wouldn't say that, you know, there's no benefit to voting Democrat. Sometimes it's as simple as them just playing defense. If we still had
I didn't say
DEI,
there's no benefit.
300, and I'll land there. If we still had DEI, 300,000 black people would have still had jobs, right? That's defense. That's defense.
Okay, Dynas. Now look,
Go,
bro.
go.
First of all, whether or not we have DEI has nothing to do with whether or not black people or minorities get hired. There's something called Title VII that controls that, and Title VII ain't going anywhere. It's a federal statute. Lastly, and also, should black people be working for ICE? Hell yeah, we should be working for ICE because it's in our best interest to get these immigrants up out of America. I don't care if they're African,
Why?
Mexican or not.
Why?
Because when it all boiled down to it, the 14th Amendment is being used to undermine African American interests. I mean,
No, it's not.
however you put it, as much as I love my African brothers, they would do better in Africa, building up Africa, getting those corrupt idiots up out of power rather than, you know what I'm saying, over here in America, you know, living the best life while there are people over there in Africa suffering.
But
So
what's the
I'm a
benefit
Pan-African.
for
I'm a
us
Pan-African
though?
all the way around. I'm not an FBA. You know what I mean? I'm an FBA, I guess, by definition, because I was born in America as African American. But I'm a Pan-African. You know, I don't subscribe to all that we've
That
been
don't
here
make
crap.
me FBA. I'm
But
African
but but but
American.
but like I say, you
I
know what I'm
ain't
saying? I'm
switching.
African American, exactly,
Right.
brother, right? But
There
when
you
it
go.
all boiled down to it, the illegal immigrants, if all this was happening to us, if ICE was rounding us up, you wouldn't hear a word from
You might be
anybody.
the
Wouldn't
next
nobody
one
be
being
saying
rounded up
shit.
though. You
What,
Exactly.
might be the
like I
next
said,
one being
wouldn't nobody
rounded
be
up
saying, hold
though.
on, brother, let me finish, bro. Wouldn't
Go ahead.
nobody be saying shit. So when it all boiled down to it, African Americans have an interest in getting illegal immigrants up out of this country.
Because
Because
it
like
makes it
Charleston, hold on, let me finish. And mind you, I feign quoting Charleston White here, but Charleston White said something that was very, very profound. He
Oh
said that
God.
oh, yeah, exactly right. Now, please, I don't beat me up. I
Go
understand. You
ahead,
know what I'm saying?
brother.
I
But
know this is reaching. Go
but
ahead. Go
what he
ahead.
said here, was so true. He was like, you know, like the illegal immigrants are taking the summer jobs of our teenagers, the
That is
jobs that
true.
our teenagers used to work during the summer. When you go in these fast food places, when you go in these gas stations,
It's a
you see
40-year
Indians
old
there,
Spanish
you
dude.
see Arabs there.
Yeah.
When you go in these warehouses, you see Mexicans, you see Indians, and you see Arabs. And so these and these were even the jobs for our convicted felons, right? These are the jobs that our convicted felons used to work when they got out of jail. They can't even get no job, so they end up either back in jail. They either
So
end up back in jail, and now our teenagers have turned into YNs.
So
And a
once
lot of
they're
this has to
gone,
do.
your
Hold on,
people are
brother.
going to be better off, right?
so
Once
wait,
they're all
wait.
gone, your people are going to be better
Bro. You
off.
gonna let me finish? Let me land.
Man,
Let me
let
land now.
Skywalker
Let him
finish,
land. Let him
man.
land.
Let
Let me land,
Skywalker
bro.
finish.
So when it all boiled down to it, you know what I'm saying, it's in African Americans' best interest to, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever we can to take back our spot, you know what I'm saying, in this country because illegal immigrants are trying to undermine our interests and turn us into a permanent underclass. So we have an interest in protecting our Fourth Amendment rights because we are the reason for the construction of the 14th Amendment. We are the reason for birthright citizenship. And we've been allowing
That's right.
immigrants to come over here and undermine our interests. And we sitting around letting them do it because we hopping on this Democratic bandwagon when they ain't never meant us no good. These crackers even fought a war to keep us in slavery. And now
Now,
in there, let me get up out of here.
Because
Y'all
now,
take
you're
it
not
easy.
Hey,
hold on,
you're not
Skywalker,
hold
talk
on,
that
organizing in your
talk,
hold on,
man.
hold
community.
on.
The
You're not
black
building
men join
business in
ICE
your
and
community.
pay
Hold
off
on.
their
You're
Really
not
debt.
quick.
dealing with your
Let me just
education in your
respond, and
community.
there's another
All the
Black
things that you're supposed
American
to be doing as a black
hear me
American
left.
in your communities, you're not doing it. And when all the immigrants are gone, you still won't be doing it. And
That's
that's
a
the
fact.
problem.
That's a fact. That's the issue, right? Like
I,
when people make that argument that they are taking money from us, understand these funds were never earmarked for us before these immigrant
right,
laws and
Boom.
funding was passed. Like it
Boom.
wasn't our money.
right,
They stepped
right,
over a homeless black man to give these immigrants that money, and they're gonna step over him once they take it back. That's the reality.
right,
Now, bro made a
right,
valid point about employment, right? So this is why I'm not getting in ICE's way. That's the other side of my argument, right? Like I'm not trying to stop them either. Do what you do, right? But this issue is bigger. It's more the real concern of white people in fighting this immigration fight is they fear that every senator, right, is gonna have a Z in his last name. Lopez, Alvarez, Gutierrez, right? This is their fight. It's not about economics, right? Most
Yeah,
of
but
these
what
jobs,
about following the
most
Hey,
of these
law though?
jobs won't even
yo,
be
Willie,
valid
I
jobs.
gotta pass the mic to
Go
Yemoja.
ahead.
Yemoja, go ahead, Yemoja. Yemoja, you hopping back on? Okay, let me pass it to Zaman. Go ahead, Zaman. Unmute yourself. Zaman, unmute yourself. All right, going what's? Hold on, let me unmute him.
Just come back to Willie if you
Hold on,
can't
hold
get
on. Okay, never mind. Let me just remove him.
But Willie, that's the thing though. When you're not following the law, you're not doing the due diligence process, the law process, you're killing people, you're doing all these things that are not following certain amendments and all these things, right? That if you get away with doing that kind of stuff and that's how you're moving with dealing with this immigrant problem, it makes me concerned about then what are they going to do next and who will be next. And if we stand by and watch them not do the law in doing this immigration thing, and if we stand by and watch that unlawful way that they're doing it, then that means that they're corrupt and that they are not, something's up with it, and I don't trust it. And I've seen the history of 1940s in Germany. I've seen the history. I've seen apartheid, how they did apartheid, and I'm concerned
so,
about what's going
bro.
to happen next and who's going to be next.
I'm
Oh
with you.
Lord.
I'm with you. But here's the bad part of that argument for me. There is no next for my people, right? We've always been under the scrutiny and under the thumb of these same types of initiatives. So we've had to deal with them before. We're going to have to deal with them after. Now, I agree with you that if we let certain things go too far, it can come back and have an effect on us. But this is when you got to take a deep breath and look at the landscape. In 3 more years, MAGA will be dead, right? Nobody is going to carry the mantle that only the most electrifying, right? Whoever watched battle rap and know old solo. Like the Donald is the most electrifying. Not only that, right? When this midterms come, you're gonna see a blue wave, right? And so after that, you're gonna be dealing with a lame duck president that can't get anything else accomplished.
What if he
Take
don't
a
want to
deep
leave?
breath. Take
What
a
if he don't
deep.
want to leave?
Yes,
He's gonna
Willie.
go
Sorry,
ahead.
brother. I mean, like, is this is the problem? We black people, we lack um, political education. We don't have it. And
That's what
listen
I'm trying to
to our
shift.
brothers and
Yeah.
yeah, listen to the brothers and sisters tonight. You can see what Jagun said, how vulnerable we are politically. We are very high emotional people, and also we are very outspoken people. Some of us are, in fact, I'll say majority of us are very
Now,
outspoken.
but when it
And
comes to black, go ahead.
let
My
me just
fault.
finish.
My fault.
So what I think, I mean, we've been talking about the problems here, and a lot of people have aired their views. I disagree with some, I agree with some, and but we've got to respect that. And this is a very important conversation today. Just to support Dyness on this platform, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of sarcasm. Anytime we talk about Pan Africanism, you can see the super chat flying. But when they talk about America today, it's kind of empty. There's no super chat. So I think that Pan Africans are winning when it comes to that. But just saying. So what we need, right, is basically political education. We need, like in America, I don't think. Yes, I agree. We need to be nice, as I said from the beginning, and we need to be there for the right reasons. And also, we need to be. You have to be in it to win it. Yeah, and also you have to be in there to see what's happening. You can't just let these people control everything. Even though we're not impacting that well. But
But
also,
see,
as Dinah
bro.
said, as Dinah said, the income is there. It's going to provide, there's a lot of black families out there that don't have that much income. But however, I believe they should give amnesty to those people I mentioned earlier. And also, we African Americans, my advice to you guys, you shouldn't be, aligned into one political party. In Sierra Leone, we call it party picking. Someone that will support their party blindly just because they always have voted that party. You need to switch legion, and also you need to be a lobby group instead of, because your population is, you want the population to decline based on how what it sounds right now, because you rather have less immigrants in the country, but obviously your population would be that percentage is not going to rise into that level, and also the people that are going to come there, they're not necessarily going to align with you. So what you should do, you should be a political lobby group, like a bloc, and you should communicate to yourself and see what is going to advance you, and you need to you need to play the long game. You need to wait to the last minute and say, right, let me see which if the Democrats are going to win the election, this percentage, and you need to lobby that party, whoever party that you think is going
bro.
to be on your side,
We're not going to
and
be
give
able to
that
vote our way
populist.
out of this situation we're in. The
I agree.
Democratic politics situation is not
No,
going
no,
to.
I'm not American, but looking at what's going to come, you can tell it's going to be a blue wave, right? So
I'm
after
just
this blue
saying.
wave,
I'm
yeah,
saying
no, I agree. Let me just finish.
even with all of that though, even after
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
smoke is cleared and everything, we're going to still be in
Mm-hmm.
the same
Mm-hmm.
situation we're in now because of the system that we're
Yeah,
in. And I'm saying that in Africa
yeah.
as well, the APC and the whatever the MPC, they're not going to be able to vote their way out of that situation. They're going to have to do a revolution in Nigeria. It's going to have to be something like what's happening in Sahel. You're not going to democratically vote your way out of a situation that Nigeria is in, and we're not going to be able to vote ourselves out of this situation. We got to come together and deal with our education and our economics on our own,
Also, also,
and
also.
influence
Can
our
I come
politics.
in? Can I come in, guys? Quite.
Yes, Dragon.
Hold on, real quick. I was gonna
If
just
I may, I've already spoken, my brother. I've already
go
spoken.
ahead,
Thank you,
go
bro.
ahead,
Come
go
on, come
ahead.
on. Let's
You
have
have
some.
spoken. Don't say you rarely spoken and you go long. But go ahead.
Oh,
I'll go
okay. Don't
next.
worry about that.
I'll
Don't
go
worry about
next.
that. I'm going to
I'll
have
go
my
next.
say. I'll speak the way I speak. You will do yours, and I'll try
Well,
my
I was
best to
supposed to be
understand.
next though. So either
I
you're
don't
gonna
know
get
about that.
to
I
it
don't know
and
about
not
that,
waste my
suppose.
time, or I
I
can
don't know
speak.
about that. I really have no idea
Right.
about what you're saying.
No, that's
Let
what
me
I'm
just speak.
telling you. You're
Let me just
skipping
speak.
me, is what I'm
Let me just
telling you.
speak instead
I
of
was
getting in my
waiting to
way.
respond to something
You're
that was
wasting
said,
time.
and
You're
you're
wasting.
gonna take the conversation away from that point I would have
I
made
am,
quickly.
because I've
But
been
I'm gonna allow
listening.
you to do that. Go ahead, brother.
Okay,
Just make it
therefore,
quick.
there was no need
Be
for you to speak.
respectful.
Okay, very good. Thank you. My guys, I am going to take it slightly away from where we are, but it's going to give us thinking. Now, um, I don't know if to call myself a Pan-Africanist. I study these things and I appreciate them for what they are. But, again, I'm just an individual who has dreams and aspirations for my own life and indeed for the life of my people. In this, when I look at the world and the way the world is going politically, especially politically, and what's happening on the social climb, and it seems that we are, just further depreciating, not just as a black people, but as a human race. We seem to be depreciating seriously. I come to the point where I think, it seems to me when I look at it, it's time for black people to take their stand. And with our discussion right now, with many people who are quite progressive in what they're saying, I want to fantasize a little bit. So please forgive me. I want to fantasize in that it came to the point where we understood what it was our duty, what was our duty for us and the next generation as black people. And the fact that with all we saw above us, taking place above us, with 1884 decisions being made about splitting up Africa and them taking a piece of the pie each, the Europeans that is, the world is happening above us. It seems to me that it's time that we are looking at us as being in the center of things. Where we are positioned in the world right now, as badly as things are, we are quite well strategically placed globally to mount a serious claim. I won't say a takeover, but a serious claim for the head, if you like, of the future. Now, I put
Mhm.
it down to this. I know it's a dream, but it's a dream that I don't know. I put it on the table for us to ponder on. Africa is positioned extremely well in terms of the mineral wealth and the general wealth and the youth of the world. America is extremely well placed in terms of the African American black centric world. If America, with what is going on now, was positioned in such a way that black people were actually the ones who were politically driving the future on a moral stand, on an economic stand, and on a communicative stand globally. Do you know, it's almost to me that that will be the real peace that human life is looking for, because it would be that we are not being America centric. We are being Afrocentric. And I don't mean that in terms of any level of politics apart from our heritage. I mean it from our
All right,
heritage.
cool.
Wait,
So,
let me just land, please. I won't be
all right,
that long.
runway 7, you wide open. Go ahead, land. Runway
Thank
7.
you. Whatever that means. Thank you.
That means land, please.
Well, I hope you're listening,
You
my
guys
brother.
both have good shit to say. I want to hear it finish, and I want to hear Will afterwards because you guys both were
I just
very
want to,
valuable.
that's all I want, because I know I'm coming from a different aspect, but it's something to think about, because I fear that we're not thinking about it enough. We're thinking about the minutiae as opposed to the bigger picture. The bigger picture could land us in the position where we're actually in the steering wheel of this planet. And we being in the steering wheel of this planet could bring back sanity to everything that we see around us. And we are, the level of nonsense that over the last 20 years we have been led to believe, which is things that for me, when I'm looking at it, how can a man be a woman? How? But people have positioned this on the common square for us to discuss and debate and take seriously.
You're
It's
yapping too
beyond.
much. Can you get to the point, please,
Okay,
brother?
no.
Thank you.
The point is, can't you understand my
I'd
point?
have been
The point
Yeah,
done.
is
yeah.
that because we are
Man in the
relishing,
building.
the minutiae, and we relish all these icky bicky points of view that would amount to zero in a grand scheme of things. If we don't love ourselves and come to the position of understanding the power that we have in the world, we're trying to
All right.
appreciate the power that we have in our corner. But we have power in this world, and
All right, we
unless we
got you.
activate it, it's not
Eh,
going to happen. Full stop.
We
I've
understand the
landed.
point you're
Jagun,
making,
if
right?
if if he's at
But
if he's at
hold on,
Zamani, I want to listen to
real
him.
quick, because I
If
let
it's
him skip
Zamani, I want
me,
to
right?
listen.
I let him
Okay.
skip me, right? So hold on, I'm gonna keep mine short, right? None of that applies. Nothing he just said, right? Because he started it with if black people were in a position where we could control this American government. Our reality is, I'm not going to say we'll never be in a position where we can control the American government, but the best we have right now is a major sway. We are a major sway in where politics goes in America on the left and the right. That's a fact. So I would never tell blacks don't be involved in politics, right? But we have to be very direct. We have to be very strategic and goal driven. We have to start asking for things, right? And we have to be realistic
Okay.
with what we're dealing with. So we're dealing with a
All right.
duopoly here in America, right? The idea is it's either Democrat or Republican. We have the opportunity to vote independent, but what most Americans know is independent parties don't win. Now, the question for black people is, are we moving outside of the structure and just focusing on ourselves? And if so, pushing an independent agenda, even if the Democrats don't win or the Republicans don't win, it can still benefit us. But if we're still using our leverage in the country, right, there's only one choice in the duopoly. It's always going to be the Democrats. Because at the end of the day, right, like I said, when you're making the two wings of the same bird argument, yes, that is 100% true for being tough on crime. But if you're talking about police reform, if you're talking about protecting black people, one side is arguing police need to wear body cameras. The other side is arguing police deserve immunity, right? Let's be very clear on that. So our situation has complexities that if you listen to a black American and why we vote the way we vote, you'll have a better understanding. Our situation doesn't apply anywhere else on the earth because if you go to Kenyans determine their policy. If you go to Nigeria, Nigerians determine their policy. We have a different setup here in America, right? So once you understand
Okay.
that, then the question is, how do we benefit from what we're pushing? And I'ma just land right here, right? Back to the
Yeah, that
topic
makes
of the
sense. That
whole,
makes sense.
I'ma land right here. Quick. I ain't go
Mhm.
half as long as he went so far. Right? So short. The problem with this whole ICE issue, right, is we potentially involve ourselves in things we shouldn't be involved in, right? I brought up the whole Don Lemon thing and how black people and the left and Democrats, right, which I've kind of bundled together, are saying that he should be protected as journalists, right? The problem is, I know that there's a whole wing of journalism that is racist as hell and unapologetic about it, right? So if we open up that door, then we're opening up the door for Tucker Carlson, right? To pull up the Ebenezer Black Baptist Church, where one of my bros, good grandmothers, is in there with a whole bunch of white people coming in there screaming no Carmelo, right? These are things we just shouldn't be involved because they complicate our situation. There's no real benefit for us, right? Like we would only lose if we change the precedent of the Klan Act or the Faith Act, right? Yeah, keep folks out of church, let them folks worship. Why? Because that's where we got most of our planning done, in the church.
But shooting people cold bloodedly, like that dude they just shot, just shot him dead,
He
and
was a
not
crowd
following the
shot, bro.
law, sending people over to El Salvador prison without going through the due diligence law process. I'm saying those types of things is comes along with the territory of this whole ICE
I got
spirit.
you. I got you. But
Yeah,
to the last point you made, right? That is something that will never affect us, right? Every
you.
hold on. Let me land. Every black American man I'm speaking to from this continent, right? We all have a social security number. We all have a birth certificate. We're not being sent to El
Bro.
Salvador under no
No,
circumstances.
wait a minute. This is the
No
part where
circumstances.
you miss. To me, you missed this mark right here. And
Go
this
ahead.
is knowing what time it is. What time is it? Where are you? Who are you? And what time it is? The time that it is the way Trump is moving and doing the shit he's doing all in the United States and all over the world. That's the time that we're in, which means that how they've been treating us, mistreating us for the last so many years is going to be not like they're going to stop their system of racism and white supremacy racism. They're not going to stop that, but it's going to be double fold or change. It's going to change, and I'm saying that it could change to a martial law where if we protest, Black Lives Matter won't happen again because they will block off all the black communities, and they will institute a martial law. You can't
And
leave the
two or three
area.
sentences.
And I'm
I'm gonna
saying
keep it
that
short.
that's never happened in the history of us being here, where they have blocked all the black communities off and said you can't leave your communities. That has never happened. So
I
to say
got you.
that we've already been through that and it's nothing different, I'm saying that it could be different, and we're not reading the room.
I
That's
got
what
you.
I'm
So
saying.
so here would be my response to that, right? This is when we have to take a deep breath and look at the landscape. What we should be more concerned with, right, than this, I'm not being disingenuous. I'm not shooting this at you like you're fear mongering, right? But I'm saying more than being fearful of the worst happening, we should look at the fact that it's been a long year, right? But in 3 years, this is going to be done. Now, once those 3 years are done, right, the Republicans are going to come in and repeal and reverse everything that Donald did, right? But you know
What
what
if
they're
he
going to
doesn't want
You
to
add?
made a
leave
Democrat.
Hold
office?
on, hear me out. But you know what they're going
You
to
made a
add?
Hey, got
Democrat.
30,
Hold on.
30 seconds. We got to close out.
Right, 30 seconds. But you know what they're going to add? They're going to add a sprinkle of rainbow to all of it,
He
right?
may not leave office.
He's gonna leave
You
office,
would be
right?
ready for that, though. Be ready for the
Okay.
fact that he
All right,
may
guys.
not
We
leave
all right, guys.
office.
We got to close out. Let me read this last super chat by Defiant Brandon. Thank you for $5 holla. Why do they try to correlate our struggle to illegal criminal immigrants unlawfully entering the country? Abuela, Tio, Mijo, and Mia gotta go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share,
Peace.
subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Search for World Peace.
Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.